15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Wow, what a story that broke yesterday. Michigan has fired their head coach, Sharon Moore, but that's not all. They found credible evidence that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. And again, that's not all. Then we find out that he's being detained in a suburb of Ann Arbor in a jail, and he's being investigated into possible charges of an alleged assault. Pearl, good morning. I know this is obviously a developing story. We're not going to get nearly the details today that we probably will in the next weeks and maybe months ahead. But can I tell you my big takeaway from what
please.
I've been hearing now from Michigan? And we'll get to the football side of it in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Every single college football insider yesterday, and even Scott Van Pelt on ESPN last night, was saying Sharon Moore's potential issues with a staffer, was an open secret amongst anyone who knew anything in Ann Arbor. Now, I don't know. There were reports maybe there was an investigation that turned up nothing, and now there's new evidence, so now they put a new investigation. Here's the bottom line. It's like everyone seemed to know there was a lot of smoke here, yet no one seemed to be able to get in front of this thing. Until now, we have a report that he's being investigated for an alleged assault. What I'm saying is, it feels like that part of this may have been avoided if perhaps Michigan had been a little bit more proactive.
Yeah.
And I understand that you don't want to just be, every rumor, especially on a college campus or in a college town, every rumor is not going to end up being true. But when you have this much smoke that there's something inappropriate going on, like, don't you have to get a little more ahead of the train as it's coming down the tracks?
Well, if that's true, that they did have a chance to slow down this train, as it were, then that just points to typical major university arrogance, where they're just think they're above the law. And obviously, this is a program that I thought it was above the law the last few years. And the funny thing, too, is this is possibly a massive stain on the football program and will not slow down. In my mind, University of Michigan still being University of Michigan, and it doesn't even tarnish the brand, ironically. Like, it's still like one of the hardest schools to get into in the country. It's doing amazing. It is iconic, and I think that they thought, well, you know what, we're Michigan, we'll figure it out. I think there was some arrogance there.
Through it. Right. Yeah. No, I think there's some arrogance. I think there's, quite frankly, I think there's arrogance with Michigan in general.
Of
the
course.
whole Michigan man thing. And listen, maybe it's earned, right? Michigan is a fine institution. I've got family members who went there. They're super proud of it. And
they won a title 2 years ago, so their football is on top of the world.
Okay, I get that, but let's just talk about this from the football perspective. And we're not trying to sweep anything under the rug. It's just we don't have enough details to talk about the other allegations and the alleged assault. But let's not pretend that Michigan is out here winning national titles year after year after year. They are actually in a very precarious position, in my opinion, because let's look at the Harbaugh era, okay? It will always be remembered as being wildly successful because he won a national championship before he left.
And more importantly, beat Ohio State a bunch of times.
Ohio State a bunch of times.
That is 1A, 1B.
Okay, fair. But you know what? Look at all the carnage around the Jim Harbaugh era. Sharon Moore now is being fired in disgrace.
Right.
You had a staffer who was indicted on federal charges because he was hacking into the phones of college co-eds for years, apparently. You had the Connor Stallion situation, which has its own Netflix documentary where he's a total lunatic. Denard Robinson has been disgraced. Jesse Minter, okay, who's the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, who a lot of people have connected dots now. Hey, maybe Michigan can grab Jesse Minter. He has a show cause penalty the highest you can get in college football, which doesn't expire until April. So, there's just been a lot. There was a lot around this program, despite the winning and building it back up from, Rich Rodriguez era, whatever, that became a bit unsavory. Now, listen, Michigan is wildly successful despite any of this stuff. But if I'm Michigan right now, I'm cutting ties from the Harbaugh era. I'm not putting it in the dustbin of history. I'm not going to, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to say Jim Harbaugh has got a 10-year show cause penalty. Jim. I'm not saying he can't come back on campus. It's not something like that. It doesn't have to get weird like it did with the Fab Five. Nothing like that. I'm just saying, if I'm looking for a coach, I'm not going to the Harbaugh tree. Okay? Enough. You got what you wanted out of it. You got Jim Harbaugh and you got the national championship. But as far as everyone else in the tree, no thanks. I think that's like I've been burned now, Pearl, and they're in a tough spot because of the college football calendar. Like the transfer portal opens on January 2nd. So time is of the essence here to find a new head coach. I'm not going to Harbaugh's tree.
Well, I understand all that stuff you're talking about, but I mean, I honestly think a lot of if you look back at this era, it's going to be looked back as wildly successful.
Totally
I don't
fine.
think it's going to be more of a football thing. People are not going to care about all that other stuff.
That's fine,
Yeah.
and that's their right. But I'm just saying, if I were Ward Manuel and if I were the athletic director right now, I think I'm going to leave the Jim Harbaugh era where it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to find Jesse Minter. I don't know if I'm going to find, somebody from the Jim or John Harbaugh tree. Let's get some new blood in here.
I honestly don't think you could get Jesse. I think Jesse Minter, I know even if he's going to get head coaching offers in the NFL. Sure. And then it's very rare for a college coach to turn down the NFL for college.
Yep.
So I don't even know if that a conversation.
No, I'm just saying,
I think they would kill to get Jesse Minter.
Well, I'm saying I would turn the page. Again, the guy's got a show cause penalty, so he literally
why
can't
the
recruit
logistics of it,
until April. I mean, you could say like, hey,
even now to come in, I feel he would be way behind the eight ball this year.
Of course you are. Of course you're
so
behind
I don't think
the eight ball.
he's doing that. So I think they'd be thrilled to get him. I think they would gladly turn back if they could get a facsimile of Jim Harbaugh. See, I don't think I understand your logic makes sense, but I don't think they think that way. Probably. They did beat Ohio State a bunch of times in a row. That's everything you said is trumped by that. Yeah. Was it 4 in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
all right, I get how college football works. That would just be my suggestion.
Right. My suggestion
Michigan.
Would be ignore your suggestion and beat Ohio State 4 more times in a row.
Yeah. Well, Ohio State's got to be reveling in this, but here's the other thing, right? I think that. These are some serious allegations. I kind of want to put them to the side in some ways because we're going to get more details about what's going on with Sharon Moore. But, Michigan is still going to be an attractive job, obviously. I think you're not going to have this roster exodus because I do think, a lot of guys are just playing for the paycheck now and they have a lot of different options. And every coach in the country is going to be trying to poach everybody off of this Michigan roster. But I do think that there are certain schools where guys do like to play for that school. Maybe it's more than just a coach.
That's funny. I think that they will definitely be poached. I mean, obviously you start with the phenom quarterback Bryce Underwood. I'd be shocked if he came back.
Right. Well, he might go, but I'm just saying, is there going to be like this massive roster exodus? And Sharon Moore specifically, who was elevated after Jim Harbaugh left because he was the interim for those 6 games that Coach Harbaugh was suspended for. But
yeah, that's interesting. I would think that I know what you're talking about, like loyalty to the program, because it's Michigan. I would think they'd be in big trouble to lose a lot of guys because I assume everyone's negotiating right now.
Okay, but the portal opens on January 2nd. Yeah, the timing on this is terrible for Michigan. But again, did you make your own bed here by not getting in front of these rumors
definitely.
and all the stuff that was going around about Sharon Moore? I don't think Sharon Moore is so beloved by the Michigan faithful that guys were coming to Michigan just to play for him. I think they were coming to Michigan to play for Michigan and play for somebody who was in the Harbaugh tree, and who was the handpicked successor to Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. Now, I might be wrong about that, and maybe the entire roster gets completely decimated, but I don't know. Something tells me there's going to be guys who want to stick around. But the thing about this, no matter who they hire, but the thing about this is, Pearl, is that, and I'll get back to my original point here, which is, we're going to remember the Harbaugh era for being super successful. It wasn't always that way. Nico's here with us today, diehard Michigan fan. There was a lot of 7-win seasons in there, And they're not above, while they seem to be on this, riding this huge high right now with the athletics, the academics, all of that. They're not above sliding back into mediocrity like we saw 10 years ago.
But I would argue against that, though. It is an era where you can turn around really fast. So in today's college football, I think that the value of the brand and the money they can generate will help them avoid a slide in mediocrity. It's nothing like the old days of college football where things move much slower. You know, we look at, obviously, Texas Tech is the prime example. You can build a team like that, like a snap of a finger. So this year, it looks like it's going to be bad. No doubt about it. It's way too late in the cycle. Maybe they'll get a good coach, but I think they'll be able to turn around really fast because college football is like NFL on steroids. Like, it's free agency every year, and nothing's going to change. Congress wasn't able to do anything. It's going to be an open transfer portal. In 3 years, what's to stop them from building a super team? That's the thing about college. The guys are only there for 2 or 3 years. So why would this hurt big long term? Like, long term meaning in college football now is 4 years. Well, they'll get into the 36-team playoff in 4 years from now.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
The 160-team playoff.
Why would any of this affect what they could be in 3 years, for example, when it's all new players?
Okay. The reason why is because no university and no football program in the world is immune from making a bad hire.
Right.
And and as far as Michigan, the brand will take you, look at Sharon Moore. I mean, this is barely 2 years. The guy's sitting in a jail cell right now outside of Ann Arbor. So nobody's above making a bad decision at head coach. And you just sat and watched a coaching carousel that was like spinning out of control. And Michigan didn't get in on that. And Michigan probably would have been, the second best job opening after LSU? Maybe Florida, LSU, Michigan.
Penn State.
I don't know. That Penn State job seemed pretty hard to fill.
They seem to. That's funny too. I mean, you were not to call you. You were railing on Penn State. It seemed like they tripped into a home run.
into the best guy, Matt Campbell, who, by the way, Michigan probably would have died to get.
Yeah, I know.
If they had just fired Jerome Moore 2 weeks ago.
Like, Penn State, after all we made fun of them for the last month, ended up with Matt Campbell, who honestly the NFL had been looking at for a decade. So I think it's hard to predict. That's what I'm saying. Michigan, I don't know what they do this year. It is weird timing. Do they hire a Jed Fish right now, or do they do an interim coach and then really go all in next year? I mean, what I don't understand. You still have not convinced me in 5 years from now why any of this will matter at all.
Well, I'm not sure about 5 years, but I'm telling you right now. Right?
Now is bad. I totally agree.
And you can make a bad hire because you are back against the wall.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Which could affect 5 years from now.
Well, definitely. But I kind of feel like Michigan got caught here, like unprepared, that's the weird part about it to me, when after the fact it came out that this was sort of like an open secret that Sharon Moore was maybe having an inappropriate relationship. So, I mean, I want EJ and Nico to be able to get on this. So, Nico first, because you are the Michigan guy around here. You're a major supporter of the program, major fan. Do you want someone from the Harbaugh era, or do you think they should turn the page?
I think it's time to turn the page because, like you said, I think people view the Harbaugh era as successful. And, I mean, I know you were saying that it wasn't always great, but I'm going to view it as successful just because they won the national championship. So, at this point, Sharon Moore's already kind of like tainted that era. Let's not make it worse. Just move on, start somewhere else fresh. But to your point, they do have to make sure that this is the correct hire because we saw this happen post Lloyd Carr. Yep. They hired Rich Rodriguez and Brady Hoke, and both guys ended up being horrible. And then they needed Harbaugh to come in and save them 7-8 years later. So we've seen Michigan go into a time period where they have 4 years in an 8-year span where they don't even make a bowl game.
Right.
So we've seen them go down. They have to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I get that. Well, and later on, Nico will ask you for who the fan base wants as the pick. But
if you had Jesse Minter as an option, would that excite you?
It would excite me personally just because he was the defensive coordinator when they won the national championship, and we've seen how well he's done with the Chargers. But I think Maggie mentioned he has the show cause, so it's just a whole can of worms that they'd have to reopen up with that whole sign-stealing thing. So why go down that road again? Just try to start clean and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he literally could not have contact with anybody until April. It'd be tough to be like, all right, hold the fort. Jesse will be here. Just wait till the snow thaws. EJ, you were not surprised that this all crashed out for Sharon Moore.
No, because just the nature of his hiring was just weird, and I didn't feel comfortable that he would really be given an opportunity to really make this thing happen for a long period of time if things didn't work out well early, which they didn't. They didn't have a good first year. This year was better, but they lost Ohio State. They didn't get to the college football playoff. So what I was feeling from the Michigan fans I know is that they kind of were already kind of looking ahead to, like, who's the guy who's going to be after Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
So I said last year, I said this on the show, that I thought he was going to be short for this job. He ended up being short for this job for something I never would have expected, which was some crazy scandal that seems like it's something of his wrongdoing.
Yeah.
But I look at this Michigan situation, I think this is a tenuous situation. Like, college football is so different now. We have Texas A&M on top. We have Texas Tech on top. We have Indiana on top. This idea that Michigan, if they think they could just, we're Michigan, so we can just hire anybody and we'll be able to be a college football playoff team consistently. I don't know about that. Indiana is now on your block, and they're running the show now in the Big Ten, basically. So Michigan better be careful. This could be the beginning of some dark ages.
Yeah. The one thing, though, and it's fair points all around, but the one thing that I keep coming back to is just, you mentioned Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Like, what happened to them? They're rich schools, and they're able to use the money now. Michigan is that rich school. Michigan, we're talking about, was it Texas Tech with Cody Campbell? Is that he's the billionaire who kind of came in and is just sort of taken over the program, Pearl? You see him on these commercials every week. But, like, Michigan's got 10 of those guys.
Well, I don't know about that.
All right, you want to count them up?
I mean, I've heard Cody specifically.
Larry Ellison and Stephen Ross are two that are just willing to give the program whatever they want. Dave Portnoy, hell, you got celebrities, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I've heard Cody tell some stories about how much oil money is around his program. In Texas, there is a lot of money. That's oil money down there, which is a little different
Michigan's
than Michigan.
hedge fund money. It all feels like it's never-ending source of money,
Yeah, but by the way, Michigan's title with Jim Harbaugh was almost as out of nowhere as trust me, they weren't competing for a title for a long, long, long time. That's why the Harbaugh team was kind of random in a way too. Like, it was not the era of Michigan football. Trust me, there were 4 teams that made the college football playoff for a decade. It was Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, and Clemson. So it wasn't like Michigan
back-to-back years. It was just that crazy TCU game.
Yeah, Michigan was never in this mix until the end of Harbaugh anyway. So I think that they could rebuild. And honestly, I didn't love what I saw this year. They didn't look like a team that was going anywhere. I mean, if you want to look at Sharon Moore as an offensive coordinator, look at Bryce Underwood's game log. I mean, he had games where he couldn't hit 100, like big games. They were not exactly a house on fire this year anyway. So from a football standpoint, redefining is definitely not going to scare the fans, I don't think. I mean, there's nobody's like, well, we were headed in the right direction necessarily. I don't think. Maybe people were, but it didn't feel like we weren't talking about Michigan as this up-and-coming, exciting program anyway.
Well, but Bryce Underwood, he was only a freshman.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is they are playing in the Citrus Bowl against Texas. I mean, they didn't get to the college football playoff, but they're getting to something. It's going to be high profile.
They just were hard to watch for me this year. I tried to watch some Michigan games. That's what probably the risk of having such a young quarterback. He is very young. So, and I would think, is he a Sharon Moore recruit? I would imagine that this is going to be, he's the one guy who'll be symbolic. If he leaves, then I think that there's a chance the floodgates open.
Maybe. I mean, the one thing that Michigan has going for him is he's a local guy. So it's not like they recruited from California to Michigan and he's there just for the coach. Like, he's from Detroit. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Is Michigan about to enter a backslide? And who would you hire for this job? I think it's funnier to throw the names out that you wouldn't hire. Like, I came in this morning, I'm like, all right, everybody, Deion Sanders. Like, Bill Belichick. Like, there's some really funny college football names that would
the name that's
hilarious.
thrown around on my X feed has been Jed Fish. In my mind,
but that's real. That's not a funny one. That's a legit.
I would think that'd be an upgrade. I'll be totally honest. Like an immediate upgrade.
Really?
Jed Fish is hot right now. Washington had no right to be good this year, and I don't know.
Jed Fish is a good. No, I mean, he used to be a Miami offensive coordinator. He was one of the best ones they've had in the last 20 years. It's just, I just feel like with what the scandal that they're dealing with, Jed Fish is kind of a loose character. I know. By the way, that'd be kind of funny too. I don't know if that's the guy I'm going to based on what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to the other not so crazy name that's now being floated around. Someone currently going to be coaching in the college football playoff, but there's being some dots connected between Michigan, because who expected that one of the biggest programs in college football was suddenly going to open up because their head coach has been fired in scandal? If you're just joining us, that'd be Sharon Moore from Michigan. So 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We'll tell you who this guy is who could have a big decision to make when he's got a game in next Friday. We'll do that. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Perloff Show. Trying to figure out what's going on in Michigan. Sharon Moore spent the night in jail, I believe, accused allegedly of assault and has been let go by Michigan. It is obviously, from a team building standpoint, a problematic time because a new coach would come in December. And I don't know, we kind of floated the idea, would you do some sort of interim situation where you wait for a big-time guy to come in? But that being said, it is a college football era where you can redefine yourself in the blink of an eye. And I think Michigan's brand is at a kind of an all-time high after the title with Jim Harbaugh. I don't know what it is. I just think Michigan is special. And I think they're going to be kind of fine in the long run because of that, because I think college football is just different than it was, say, 15 years ago, where you had to build a program. Now you can build it in microwave. Just boom, you're there.
That's true, but I think there's a big crossroads here for Michigan because, first of all, the bar is extremely high. So you can't just come in here with, to satisfy the fan base. You're going to really need to get a big fish. It's like, Penn State. They were used to winning 10, 11 games. Yeah, you couldn't win the big one, but you can't just hire anybody for that job. And it was weird to me the job had so much trouble actually getting filled, and now Matt Campbell's going to be their head coach. And you have a big decision if you're Michigan about whether you take the road away from the Jim Harbaugh tree and era or whether you stay in that same pool. And I think that's the biggest one. Now, of all the names that are getting thrown out there right now, and Pearl's right, tough time in the calendar to now be all of a sudden opening up a coaching search. If Michigan truly was, I guess blindsided by this, even though there were rumors of Sharon Moore's inappropriate relationship with a staffer going back for months and months. Kalen DeBoer. And, we talked to Josh Pate about this earlier in the week, Pearl, when Kalen DeBoer was getting linked to the Penn State job. And that rumor just lingered far too long. He eventually came out and was asked about a press conference and said, I have no interest, and I actually believed him. I have no interest in Penn State. I want to stay at Alabama. But he seems like it's a guy who's kind of on and off the hot seat. It is really hard to be the guy that follows the guy. And anyone who was going to follow Nick Saban was going to be climbing a severe uphill battle. I mean, the dude's in the college football playoff. Probably shouldn't be, but he's in the college football playoff, and I still think there's part of the fan base who wouldn't be so sad to see him go. So I don't know how you pull this off because they have a game a week from tomorrow against Oklahoma. But is Kalen DeBoer, do you think, a serious candidate for the Michigan job?
I can't imagine it. I don't understand why. I still don't understand, unless Alabama really doesn't like him. Like, why? He's not going to do that jump on his own volition, right? That's because he thinks the writing's on the wall in Tuscaloosa. And the fact that they're in the playoff and their another thing, too, is their quarterback might come back next year. I'd be shocked beyond shocked if the timing of this, if he left now, it would make I think that'd be the most surprising hire not in the history of college football, but in a long, long time. It would make no sense because obviously this wouldn't be coming. If you're Kalen DeBoer, there's no football reason to leave Alabama for Michigan. The only reason is you think they're going to fire you, right?
That or you're not feeling the love, right?
But even if you're not feeling the love to go in December to Michigan.
Well, you could be looked at with Michigan, listen, it's all about perception, right? Yeah. Like you could go to Michigan and kind of arrive on campus as like the savior. Like, hey, we were in a tough spot. You came in, as opposed to, hey, you're the guy who followed Nick Saban who's never going to be Nick Saban. Like, again, I don't know if that's a reason to leave a job, a high profile one, but I don't know. Like maybe there's an idea that he feels like he's never going to be appreciated or he's never going to truly, be loved by the fan base, I guess, until he wins multiple national championships. Like Alabama is a unique spot.
But he kind of knew all that when he was coming in there.
That's true, but you still take the job, but like how long do you necessarily have to keep it? And I think there's part of the Alabama fan base that always maybe wanted Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, probably. But that being said, they couldn't fire him because he was in the playoff, but they didn't fire him for Lane last month. I mean, he would go 4-7 next year at Michigan, leave Alabama, a playoff team who's got Ryan Williams coming back and possibly Ty Simpson, the quarterback, coming back, and all sorts of talent on defense, to go have a losing record and get stomped by the best Ohio State team in next year's Ohio State team is going to be crazy bananas. You should have an interim coach who just take the bullet next year and then come back in 2 years. He's not going to leave now in December. I'm just saying it's a timing issue.
Okay, well, maybe not, but we're talking about Kalen DeBoer now maybe having rumors towards this Michigan job, which suddenly opened last night when Sharon Moore was fired and arrested, detained rather, for allegations of an alleged assault and an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. But here's the thing. It's like what I said with the Penn State job. There's an easier path to get to the college football playoff in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
The SEC is going to a 9-game schedule next year. And, listen, you're saying you're going to go to Michigan and get stomped by Ohio State. I know they beat them earlier this year, but I just watched Alabama go to the SEC championship game and get stomped by Georgia. There's always going to be someone, as EJ likes to say, on your corner, on your block, He's going to have tough games against whether he's in the SEC or whether he's in, maybe the best rivalry in college football with Michigan and Ohio State. So,
well, actually, I did hear the committee chair say that the defense looked pretty good in the Georgia game specifically.
Yeah. Well,
and by the way, that game, and I know it was 28-7, but the Alabama was knocking on the door to make it 28-14.
Oh, they got the Georgia controlled that whole game.
Yes, but it wasn't. It definitely, Alabama the offense picked it up again in the second half for sure. They were moving up and down the field. That being said,
for 3 quarters.
I mean, it was 28-7. It's college football. It wasn't 65-7.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, and that's because Alabama wasn't kicking field goals. They were going for touchdowns at the end to try and make it a game. But you don't know in a year in advance. You can't say Alabama knew they were going to get their butt kicked by Georgia a year in advance. You know Michigan is going to lose to Ohio State next year. They lost this year, and guess what? Julian Satan's getting a year older. Jeremiah Smith has to come back next year. They're going to be loaded. And Michigan, that's my point, is not going to be good next year. It's too late. You're not going to be able to hire a coach today and bring in a full transfer class. It's impossible. Kalen DeBoer be crazy if it was up to him to leave Alabama for this, just because of not getting shown the love. And maybe it's a $50 million more or something, but to me, if it does happen, it'll be a complete shock, mainly because it's December. If this was a month ago, then maybe I could see it. But even then, why would you leave Alabama?
I get it, but it's like the short-term pain for the long-term. It's the long-term play, right? It's like, yes, it's going to be painful right now because of how the school's in scandal. But if you think ultimately you've got an easier path to get to the playoff year after year after year, well, then maybe Michigan looks appealing. Let's get to Bogusch, who's got the latest headlines for us. A lot going on even outside of Michigan, Bogusch.
Guys, good morning. All the headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks. On Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less, and watch your lineups light up like the holidays. Download Prize Picks and use code PRIMETIME.
Juju is coming around the mountain when he comes.
And get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. So let me just run through the details one more time. We are still waiting to see what charges former Michigan head coach Sharon Moore will face, if any. Moore was taken into custody in the Ann Arbor area yesterday afternoon, accused possibly of some type of assault. All of this hours after he was fired for an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Now, I love to say his name, wish it was for better reasons. Biff Poggi is the Wolverines' interim coach through their bowl game. He did it again last night. Suns guard Grayson Allen ejected from their NBA Cup quarterfinal with the Thunder for a pretty good body check of Chet Holmgren. There was some pushing, there was some shoving, but nothing more than that. Jalen Williams could barely be bothered to discuss the fracas postgame.
I don't know. They're up 40. I think something happened the play before, so there's probably some frustration there, but just make sure I have Chet's back, and then that's really about it.
As he said, OKC was up 400 points last night. Thunder 138, the Suns 89. OKC has now won 16 straight, matching the 2015 Warriors for the best 25-game start ever. They are 24-1.
Bogues, guess who has an issue with the Oklahoma City Thunder?
You.
Nope.
America.
Maggie.
Yeah.
What happened now?
When I tell you guys...
Yep.
when I tell you we're obsessed with Prize Picks, it's not just something that we say. We really are. And I was bummed because I had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as one of my picks on Prize Picks last night, more than 32.5 points. I did not factor in that he would not play the entire fourth quarter because they were winning by so much, and he scored 28 points last night and then sat for 45 minutes.
Have you not been watching the Thunder all year?
Yeah.
They've been smoking teams every night. They've never played guys in the fourth quarter.
I know, but I thought he'd get to 32.5. I don't know. Maybe he only sits like the last 8 minutes. Does he have to rest the whole freaking quarter?
Thunder have been playing basketball on easy mode. This is like playing on rookie mode on NBA 2K.
No, this is the rest of the league. This is a problem. And they're not going to get the credit probably that they deserve for this because we're in the era of load management and you're never sure what opponent's star is playing. Like, Pearl, they're doing something amazing. It's historic, but no one I feel like is going to give them like the proper flowers.
Well, also too, they have a little bit of the 2000 Spurs going on. They were just very fundamentally sound, but they don't necessarily have highlight plays.
No, I think they're like gym class tryhards, and everyone's like, well, no, who tries during the regular season? You got to save all that stuff for the postseason outside the NBA Cup.
I'm with Pearl on this. I think their biggest problem is that they're kind of boring.
Yeah, they're a bit of mid range. Shai had a dunk last night where it was very simple. Like they're not like Vince Carter-ish. They don't have a lot of flair.
Yeah, I mean, even
they win more than Vince. They've already won more than Vince.
Right, like the Spurs.
Yeah, but like as a guy who needs Thunder highlights every third day, it's just like Shai dribbles left, pull up from 15, it's good. They're up by 60. There is no high flying. There's no 13 points in 4 seconds.
You can't get a Thunder money ball?
Nah, even that. I mean,
but I think that's why the only excitement you'll get is if they reach records of 73 wins, or can they push 75? Like that's the only excitement you're going to get in that regard.
The countdown, the chase.
But I don't even remember.
I don't know if people are into the chase.
Yeah, even the Warriors in 2015 was a sort of a big deal. Maybe I'm misremembering it because they set the record for regular season wins, but they didn't win the title. So maybe that didn't seem like nobody cares about that record because they didn't win the title. It's a little like the 07 Patriots.
Well, remember that year too. I believe it was the same year was Kobe's last season. I think it actually coincided on the same night where I think we were determining if they were going to get 73, and Kobe scored his 50 points.
Yeah.
So they got overshadowed because not only it was a regular season thing, but Kobe Bryant ended his career on this spectacular high note.
Yeah, and also they were like the Globetrotters. They were amazing. They were trying new stuff, and the Thunder are just super sound, and nobody wants to see. I mean, Jake, your son, is he a big YouTube NBA fan like every other kid?
Yeah, so all he does is say SGA is a free throw merchant. That's his one. That's his one Thunder take. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, still doing that. Yeah, he's still doing it too. I mean, and who does he like? Just is there a guy?
I mean, basketball is his least favorite thing, so I don't know off the top of my head who he cares about.
I could see a kid liking Anthony Edwards, for example.
Yeah, I mean, like he cares about the Knicks only to the extent that his friends do, so he like wants to be able to talk about it in school. But this is baseball and NFL 98% of the time.
Meanwhile, yesterday,
and Maggie had to put some cash on it to get excited about the Thunder.
I did, and I was very locked in until I wasn't. I was saying yesterday I was worried about your son Jake.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of Jake, 12 years old.
You keep saying that because you called him 13 the other day.
And now I'm making up for it. 12 years old. And, 12 years of age, as Dog would say. 12 years old, and obviously it was a big deal that Edwin Diaz signed with the Dodgers. Little did we know what would happen less than 24 hours later. The Pete Alonso signing with the Baltimore Orioles, which we'll get to from the Orioles side of things, but talk about one gut punch after the next.
Yeah.
How did he handle this one? Even I was kind of getting upset about Pete Alonso.
This one hurt Dad too. This one was emotional. That's our doofus. Like I wanted him to stay here for forever. I had to apologize to Jake for making him a Met fan yesterday. This is the last
long overdue. By the way.
Now
that's not on you.
I mean, it is a little bit.
Do you guys all have
I don't blame my dad for my Knicks and Jets sorrows.
No.
I chose this life.
You should blame your dad. Mr. Stewart, we're all blaming you. No, this is the thing, though. It's not like when you were growing up, Bogues, where if choosing between the Mets and the Yankees at that point was like not a fair fight. The Yankees were in a dynasty, and the Mets were the Mets. And now the Yankees haven't won in so long. It's a little bit
Drought.
different. Yeah. Drought buster.
Some might say slump buster.
Yeah. Well, at least they made it to the World Series, but still.
Let me go all the way back to those Thunder, by the way, because their next victim, the Spurs, they were 132-119 winners on the Lakers floor last night. Stephon Castle leading San Antonio with 30. So the NBA Cup semifinals are now set. They are Saturday night in Vegas. Receivers Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan are back on the Bucks active roster, so they'll play tonight against the Falcons. Both were on IR, had their 21-day windows to return to game action opened last week. Men's number 7, Houston, in 80-38 destruction of Jackson State last night. 17 points for Clyde Drexler. The Cougars have now won 3 straight. And on ice,
the third, Clyde Drexler, the third.
The Panthers got a 4-3 win in Utah. The game-winning goal coming with 52 seconds left in that one. Guys, back to you.
Folks, thanks a lot. Okay, coming up next, we're not done talking college football. We've got a lot more news of the Michigan variety. They have fired their head coach, Sharon Moore, with cause. And we've got more for you on this front. It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff Show. So we're talking about Sharon Moore. He's been fired as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines for cause. Had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer, and that's only part of the story. Then he was detained by police in a suburb outside of Ann Arbor yesterday because of police responding to allegations of a possible assault. Now, he has not been charged with anything yet, but obviously this thing is getting pretty dark. I also heard yesterday that he's got a newborn baby at home. They've got young kids. I mean, this thing is, this is gonna get rough. But meanwhile, Michigan has a bowl game to play again, a play-in, the Citrus Bowl. Famously, teams are begging off of bowl games right now, like Notre Dame, but Texas and Michigan are about to meet in a bowl game. And that's where we have to pause for a second on Arch Manning. Mm-hmm. I've seen, Pearl, a lot being said over the last, month or so, I think is when you first brought it to my attention. Yeah. And now I'm seeing more and more of it from NFL insiders that despite a very up and down season from Arch Manning, if he declared for the draft, he still would possibly be the number one pick and would certainly be a first rounder.
Yeah.
Is there any thought, and I know everyone's saying he's going to go back, but there's also a strike while the iron's hot situation where this is a weaker quarterback class, and he might find himself in being able to leverage his situation and maybe get to a team he wants to get to if he comes out this year.
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality for all these quarterbacks, not just Arch. You can get paid a lot to come back. So what's the rush? I think he's more likely to go back. He's only a redshirt sophomore, so if he wanted to come back for 2 more years, he could. I think because he'll make probably, I would guess, if you're Arch Manning, $8 million next year. And by the way, grew up wealthy anyway. It's not a big deal. I think there's very little pressure to go pro. And I think he's going to look at this season and say, well, when we fix the O-line, I was awesome. So next year we're going to have an O-line that's great. I want to win a title at Texas. And he's been, he denied when his uncle came out and said he's playing 2 years. His grandfather, sorry. Arch said, he denied that at the moment. He said, I never told anybody what I'm going to do. But I do think that plan is still in place. And I still think he's going for 2 years regardless. And it's not about what the opportunities are in the NFL. I think he wants to go win a title at Texas. And dude's got already generational wealth.
Yeah. Okay. A couple things I'm keeping my eye on when it comes to Arch Manning and whether it's for certain that he would go back to Texas and not go to the NFL. Number one is all those rumors about Steve Sarkisian, right? So
all those are the one rumor?
The one rumor, but there were 2, right? It came up to 2 different times. And so I guess that constitutes all those rumors to me. But I would say I'm still keeping an eye on this because the NFL's Black Friday has not happened yet, right? That's not happening till after the season. And so is there even a shred of possibility that Sark is still eyeing the NFL? That's one thing I'm thinking about. The second thing I'm thinking about is the Manning family, who famously put Eli Manning on the Giants, okay?
Right.
And use their influence. And it's not like Eli was this off-the-charts college football player, right? Like, he was... Eli's college career was like good, but he was not a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah, he did finish. He's third, I believe.
Oh, did he finish third in a Heisman?
He
went to New York
third in
once?
Heisman.
No kidding. I have no recollection of Eli sitting in New York for the Heisman.
Because Ole Miss was not a title contender. I mean, they had a good year, but they were never in the mix, which is why Lane probably left. But he chose Ole Miss, and he wasn't going to win a title there.
I guess here's what I'm trying to say is that Eli wasn't like this huge deal coming out of college, and he was able to still manipulate the draft to say no to the San Diego Chargers at the time and go to the Giants. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
I think, I mean, part of the reason he wasn't a huge, but he did have that last name, which I think is what you're getting at. Yeah.
This is where I'm going to land on the final point. There is a unique opportunity this season.
To what?
It's the Rams having that pick from the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are going to play tonight. That Rams pick, I think, is everything about whether or not you're looking at the chessboard here. Because if I'm the Manning family, I don't want Arch going to Las Vegas. I don't want him going to Cleveland. I don't even know if I want him going to New Orleans because it's the hometown guy. There's extra pressure there. Guys are split on that. I've seen guys who want to play in their hometown. I've seen others who say it's just way too much. I have too many people coming at me all the time asking for favors. I can't play in my hometown. I don't know if I want to play for the New York Jets. Actually, I do know. I don't want to play for the New York Jets. Sorry, EJ. So the Rams are sitting there with the Atlanta pick. Right now, it's number 9. Matthew Stafford's having an MVP year. If he wins the MVP, or maybe even he doesn't, you bring him back for one more season, and Arch Manning gets to learn and sit behind Matthew Stafford with Sean McVay. If I'm a Manning, I know you want that extra year of college. This is basically like going to NFL school. You can continue to develop at Texas, and that's fine, but they never pushed for him to unseat Quinn Ewers, and they were fine with Arch kind of learning by watching. And I think you go to get a PhD level education by sitting behind Matthew Stafford and sitting in a quarterback room with Stafford, who everyone universally respects.
Sure.
And with Sean McVay. I think anyone would want that for their son, right? Anyone who's coming in, get thrown to the fire. You want to go to Cleveland? You want to go to the Raiders? You want to go to the Jets? Or you can go to LA and you can kind of sit and you don't have to be the savior right away. It's a perfect situation. And this, because the Falcons are so dumb and traded that first round pick, and listen, maybe James Pierce ends up being a Hall of Famer. I don't know. But so dumb that they gave the Rams this pick, and now it's a top 10 pick. And the Rams already tell you, bleep them picks. They could be trading up to get Arch Manning. This is just what I'm saying. I'm not ruling it out for that reason.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. And I do disagree. I think he'd learn a lot more being in Texas and playing than sitting behind. And there just seems to be a trend that teams are now where he's started, 14 games total? That's a bad formula.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the Mannings are going to approach this. If you get the Rams, that does entice me. But generally, the NFL realizes now they don't want guys who started 14 games. And the Mannings obviously know this too. He'll be much better if he plays another year at Texas.
Total. I can see the arguments for both.
I think there's not really arguments. The one argument is maybe he gets Sean McVay.
That's
Say
what
you
I'm
take
saying.
Sean McVay out of that. There's no argument to go to the NFL right now.
No. You take the Rams out of it.
Yeah.
This argument ceased to exist. You go back to Texas. Okay. You get another season under your belt. That's all fine. I'm just saying all these teams that are picking at the top of the draft are the same teams that are always picking at the top of the draft.
Which, by the way, Manning is connected to every single one of them, ironically. Peyton, that is.
Yeah, but if you really love your family member, you don't send them to the Browns. That's a wasteland of quarterbacks. Yeah, Nico.
Are we sure that Matthew Stafford is done after 2026, though?
Yeah, I would bet on it. He almost
Fair point.
can't come up this year.
Fair point. Do you have a Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation where they thought Rodgers was done, that he won 2 more MVPs? I get that, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because I actually have a good organization with a great head coach and a mentor, and you're never really picking in the top 10 when you're one of those teams.
A couple questions, though. One thing, Sark is obsessed with Texas's future. It'd be very, very weird if he left now. He keeps talking about next year's schedule. Secondly, I mean, have you heard one whisper of Arch wanting out of that bowl game? If he was really being serious in the pros, I mean, wouldn't you start to think about it now? I mean, why would he play in the Citrus Bowl?
Well, okay, maybe something to keep an eye on. How long does he play in the Citrus Bowl? Is he playing the first half? Is he playing the whole game? I don't know. Who didn't play in the second? Was it Cam Ward who took himself out of the game?
Yeah, the bowl game. Yeah, he played the first half.
And then didn't play the second half. There's a way to split the baby here. Again, just stuff that I'm keeping
Show
an eye on. I really don't want to shave an eyebrow.
Hook 'em.
I don't want to hook them tattoo.
I mean, I think they're going to be the number one team again, but this time be a real number one next year.
Scandal and Michigan. The fallout. We discuss next. Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
If you're just waking up this morning, well, you're in a better spot than Sharon Moore. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Not to be flip about it, but he has been fired as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, but that's not it. He was fired for, quote, credible evidence of an inappropriate relationship, which, Pearl, kind of feels a little bit like the old cliche, right? Like, guy gets a lot of power, and all of a sudden he's got people around him and can't take the bait. But this one actually got a little bit darker. He was detained and has been detained overnight in a suburb of Ann Arbor. He's being investigated into possible charges of an alleged assault. So whatever the details are that's going to come out of this, bottom line is he's out, and Michigan is now in need of a new head football coach, and it is just a tricky time of year for that. And considering you and I have been sitting here every morning talking about the college football carousel, a lot of jobs have been filled, and a lot of guys have gotten extensions recently who didn't move to new jobs.
Right, and I also think from a program standpoint, can Michigan all of a sudden say, we're going to spend a ton of money on it? Like, they have to deal with the fallout of this scandal. Can they go out and make a flashy hire right now? Like, imagine if they throw, and I don't even know who, say it was Kalen DeBoer, who we talked about, the Alabama coach in the first hour. Can they say, like, remember LSU hiring Lane? The governor got involved, and it was a celebration.
Yep.
I don't know if they can have a celebration type hire right now.
Well, you might actually want a big name to come in and distract people from everything that's going on. I think there's a couple questions here, right? First is who's going to take over. Secondly, I think there actually could be a lot more fallout here, because if you're just getting your arms around this story, or you're just hearing about it today, and people are certainly going to be talking about it at work, water cooler, et cetera, it seemed now like it was an open secret that Sharon Moore may have been embroiled in some kind of inappropriate relationship. Like, this didn't necessarily surprise people at Michigan like yesterday. Yet it does feel like, until we get some more details, like maybe they thought they'd get through this with Sharon Moore. Like, maybe it wasn't going to get out, or maybe it wasn't going to blow up in their faces in this way. Right. Because, well, I don't know. Maybe we find out tomorrow that they're hiring, Kenny Dillingham. And maybe they did have something kind of set up, knowing that Moore likely was on the way out. But I don't know. The amount of college football insiders who said, oh, yeah, we've known about this, rumors of this, for months and months, going back to before the season even started, Pearl, to me, makes me think that Michigan really dropped the ball here. No pun intended. The fact that, maybe they let this sort of runaway train happen when they could have gotten in front of it. Now, there are still more details to be determined, whether there was an investigation prior, then a new investigation launched more recently. Everyone's going to start covering their you-know-what right now. But there's a possibility that this could have been potentially avoided, at least the legal side of this, where Sharon Moore was in a jail cell last night.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I think we have to know more details about exactly what happened with Sharon Moore. Maybe they thought he was innocent or something like that. And it's possible to judge them for not having a plan.
Or did they take it seriously enough? Like this, and maybe, you know what?
You could be right, but I'm not quite ready to get there yet.
Okay, and maybe this is my fault, because I've watched time and time again college programs sweep way worse things, try to sweep way worse things under the rug, and hoping that the power of sports, and football in particular, would make people have these blinders on, and you're looking through maize and blue glasses, and maybe you just don't want to see anything, right? Or you think you can weather the storm. I guess maybe I'm jaded, so this is not necessarily a Michigan thing, but Michigan also has had a lot of issues lately. And for the winning that they did with Jim Harbaugh and winning the national championship was certainly a high point that Michigan fans were dying for. But Harbaugh left with a show cause penalty. Jesse Minter, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, has a show cause penalty. Another assistant coach, Matt Weiss, is facing federal indictment over a phone hacking scandal. Connor Stallions, you can watch the Netflix documentary. This guy was unhinged. He was around the program. So to me, it all kind of adds up to, my opinion, move away from the Jim Harbaugh tree, move away from all of that, start fresh with someone who's got their own identity, and it might not be a Michigan man, okay, but can come in and stabilize things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm naive here, but the offense stunk last year, so move on anyway. But if you could get Jesse Minter, I mean, that guy just tortured Jalen Hurts as a Chargers defensive coordinator. So I think all those, you mentioned all those things. I mean, the real problem here, obviously, is that they lost to Ohio State this year.
Yeah, that's the real. They got a lot of problems.
That's college football. What are you talking about? None of that stuff. That's show cause on Jim Harbaugh. Does it, Nico, who's on the other side of the glass, you're a Michigan fan. Do you care about that show cause? No?
Not at all.
Well, because he's not coming back, but Jesse Minter has a show cause penalty. Which
that's annoying, but could you wait a year for him? But the actual ethics of them, what they did to get the show cause, nobody cares about that.
Well, that's fine. But again, it's logistical, right? A little red tape. The fact that Jesse Minter has a show cause penalty, which means you can have zero contact with any recruit. Zero.
Yeah.
Until April. So you could tell everyone, hey, wait until spring practice. We're going to have a guy. Just wait till it gets a little warmer. The snow melts in Michigan, and then we'll have our guy.
That's why you name an interim coach for a year, then you bring in your coach, because it's too late because of the cycle. Nico, are you available?
But what kind of defense do you run? Are you 3-4 or 4-3?
I'm maybe asking for an impossible thing here, but I think you have to wait to understand the wreckage of the Sharon Moore situation before you decide where's the program going. I'm being serious there. This is not such a simple thing. They had to fire him yesterday, and it's already mid-December. Maybe just put a pause on it. I don't know who you could bring in as a stabilizing force. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, your old coaches are either busy or have show causes.
or in trouble.
This is where a legend.
Well, Biff Poggi is going to take over. Yeah, Biff Poggi is going to take over in an interim basis. You have Wink Martindale on the staff. I mean, he's a well-known guy in NFL and college circles as the defensive coordinator. But I actually think that Michigan's going to move the opposite way. I think they will look at the landscape and say, all right, everyone's got a list, right? Everyone keeps that emergency break glass list of coaching candidates. Well, this is as big an emergency as you're going to have because your head coach spent the night in jail. So or your former head coach now. I would probably call a Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State who turned around that program, Pearl, and should have beaten Texas, got hosed on a call there where they should have been in the second round of the college football playoff last year. I think that, I'd probably give a call to Kalen DeBoer just to see. You got to make the phone call. And I think those two guys are Clark Lee from Vanderbilt, who just signed an extension with Vanderbilt, but you can pay to get him out of the extension. And maybe he wants to come and you just chart a new path.
Well, Clark Lee be crazy. He's got the number one quarterback coming in to Vanderbilt. So,
that's true.
Maybe
he brings them to Michigan.
Might be too late to do all this, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't actually know how this calendar's really working. I think these NIL deals have already been agreed to be honest. I think it's going to be the day, January 2nd, it becomes legal. There, it's going to be
portal.
NFL free agency. The portal. It's going to be 1 million signings at 12:01. I'll tell you, you laughed at Lloyd Carr. He's 80. Bring in a guy like that because they just got there's another Carr. Did you know that? I did not know.
His grandson is the quarterback at Notre Dame.
Right. He has a little brother who's amazing apparently, and he just flipped to Michigan. So he can
let Lloyd Carr enjoy his Christmas, all right? He's 80 years old. Leave him alone.
You need that. You can't let a stud Carr quarterback go to Notre Dame. There's another one to be had. Get the Carr. I'm just saying, bring in a guy. Other programs have done this. I know 80's a little too old, but if he was 70, I guarantee he'd be on that sideline. Bring in a guy to stabilize for a year and then hire Jesse Minter. That's a much better plan than trying desperately to poach somebody right now. I mean, I think it would most likely be Jed Fish because that's a big step up and he has a Michigan background. But even that, the timing's terrible for this season.
Yeah, and Jed Fish, who's the head coach of the University of Washington at the Huskies, he's an interesting guy, college coaches can be characters. He kind of falls a little bit more into that category. A little bit of
I know. Forget the moral and ethical stuff. Could you just put that to the side forever? This is football. We're not talking about I was about to say a politician.
Yeah, don't do that.
We're not talking about anything that matters. Are they available? Can they recruit? That's all I care about. And I guess a little bit, can you coach too?
I love how Pearl is just so stone cold about this. Like, what is your morals and ethics?
This is Michigan, Ohio State. All that matters is
their coach is in a jail cell right now. It's an embarrassing story that splashed across the headlines. I mean, at some point, morals and ethics have to play in even, a tiny bit. I sound like a rube.
Well, how long until that story said, everybody said, well, is Bryce Underwood staying? That was the 4 seconds until that question comes up. It's not about morals or ethics. Of course, nobody is, the things he's accused of, nobody has any, wiggle room about that. It's totally unacceptable. But I think it's a college football. If you're going to play the ethics game, man, you ain't going to win national titles.
It's so funny. Okay. Can I bring something up? And I don't know if this is like an elephant in the room kind of thing, but I'm just going to say it. Whatever Michigan decides to do here moving forward, you got to keep Tom Brady away from the search. I'm sorry. He's lost the credibility to bring in good coaches from what happened with the Raiders. The Chip Kelly thing, Pete Carroll, I think Brady's going to be involved, and I wouldn't have him involved in this, Pearl. I was so high. I have turned on Brady officially. The Pete Carroll might not last the season. Now, they'll probably keep him because of, out of respect. But you can't, Nico, you're a Michigan guy. You can't have Brady anywhere near this thing. He has not proven that he can put you in the right direction when it comes to coaches.
While I agree, I don't know if I necessarily trust Ward Manuel to make that decision either, because besides Jim Harbaugh, which was an can't miss opportunity, right? The guy played for Michigan, wanted to come back and win the national championship after everything went wrong in San Francisco. That one kind of fell into his hands.
Yeah.
The other 4 hires he's made have all been bad. So,
and you know what? I wonder if Ward Manuel's feeling it. Like, if they find out that a lot of people did know about this relationship and, that he may have not done everything he could to get to the bottom of this, Pearl, I wonder if Ward Manuel finds himself out.
Yeah, definitely. I think from a national standpoint, he's quite a polarizing figure. He mistakenly got too involved in that old committee. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not as down on Michigan program. It feels like the day Harbaugh walked out and Sharon Moore took over, I thought they lost a lot of sizzle already. Maybe this is an opportunity to redefine.
Bryce Underwood, and that was definitely a high point. I mean, he didn't have he had an up and down season, but he's a literal freshman, like a true freshman.
It doesn't feel. I mean, Nico, you're a fan. Like, it doesn't feel like the arrow was pointing up for the program for some reason. I felt like other Big Ten programs, namely Indiana, had taken over the mantle as a real power.
No, I agree, but you mentioned it before, and I wanted to agree with that. Like, obviously, all of this stuff away from football is sad, and I hope that his family is doing okay dealing with all of this. But literally, as soon as the notification popped up that Sharon Moore was fired, my first thought was, "Oh my God, is Bryce going to leave?" So, like, I do not want to see that happen, despite the fact that he struggled last year, because I do think that he's very capable of being a successful quarterback. Yeah. I think Sharon Moore was the problem.
Yeah. Well, his ceiling is obviously
Sharon Moore is
high.
Somewhat conservative as an offensive coordinator. Remember, I always think of him, I think his claim to fame as a football coach will be the 24 handoffs in a row, right? Was it 24?
Well, they won that game at Penn State, so it's not like they lost.
Yeah, I know, but
you do what you need to do to win a game, right?
Yeah, but if you're a high school recruit, if I'm competing against Michigan for a quarterback, I'd be like, hey, can I show you this game tape? Do you want any part of this? And that's what Michigan looked like this year. They still have that DNA of being a conservative offensive team.
But J.J. McCarthy still went high in the draft. Didn't hurt his draft stock. In fact, him winning a title helped.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to fall for that trick again. Them being the NFL.
Yeah.
We'll see.
EJ,
you
that
look
was
like you
a
want to
rarity.
make another point about it.
I just Ward Manuel did hire Dusty May, which is a different sport, and he struggled with the Juwan Howard hire.
Oh God, that was a disaster.
He did rebound from that. So
Michigan's beating everyone by 50 points a game right now.
They look awesome. They had a good year last year, despite early eggs in March, earlier than they wanted. So I'm curious how they do with this. I'm just still looking at the landscape of college football. I just think maybe it's because I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. If you ask a Miami Hurricane fan, a Tennessee Volunteer fan, a Nebraska fan, some of these big brands that thought that you were on top and you were never going to leave. And
how about USC?
Right, USC. Like when you're on top, you just think that it's always going to be that way. And then all of a sudden, 10 years flash, and wait a minute, we haven't competed for a national title in 10 years. And Michigan had kind of that moment post Lloyd Carr. Like, not only were Rich Rod and Brady Hoke disasters, the middle of the Jim Harbaugh era was becoming a disaster. He had to take a pay cut to keep his job.
Remember, he was interviewing with the Minnesota Vikings on National Signing Day. Like, it did get the end of the Harbaugh era. We're rewriting a lot of how the tick-tock of it went.
The beginning of it, he couldn't beat Ohio State. He couldn't beat Urban Meyer. No. He only started winning when Ryan Day showed up. So winning at Michigan, I think, is harder than people remember, or at least they realize. It's not as good as a recruiting area as Ohio is, so you're at that disadvantage. And it has a lot of high academic standards, and coaches have complained about that in the past too.
But don't you feel that they're well positioned in the modern football era where it's more money?
No, because I think that money is actually equalizing all of this. Because if you could be Texas Tech and not have a football brand, and you could be in the college football playoff, the money becomes the ultimate equalizer. Like kids aren't looking around and saying, "Oh, I want to play for Michigan because it's Michigan." Maybe kids in state, maybe kids in the area.
Yeah.
But transfers and guys around the portal, they're looking for the cash. That's
but Michigan should be able to out. I mean, at the end of the day, like LSU, you saw is like we're going to throw all the money possible at the situation. Michigan should be able to do the same thing and turn around in a hurry. They have a ton of money?
It's just that everyone has it. It's like, yes.
Not everyone has the same, though.
No, but I think that the top teams, in terms of, again, there are teams who aren't even the big brands that have that money now.
Yeah.
Where before they didn't have that. So it's just going to make things a lot more trickier for Michigan and all big brands, I think, at this time.
Well, you saw LSU just outbid Florida, Penn State, not only on their coach, but they said they committed to the roster, too. So the revenue share is not a real thing. So I don't know. I think Michigan could throw a ton of money at the situation and fix it.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. All right, you're welcome to weigh in on who should be Michigan's next head coach. We'll give you our thoughts in just a moment. Plus, Joe Burrow had some interesting comments at the podium, Pearl, yesterday that people are reading a lot into. So we'll play them for you, and you can be the judge. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
All right, we've been talking about it all show, but Prize Picks is the best way to enjoy this season. There's so many sports going on. Last night, Maggie was watching the NBA on the edge of her seat because of Prize Picks.
Yep.
It's so easy to use. You pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and hopefully you do a little better than Maggie did last night, but she's going to get back at it today. And you can keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5.
Okay, I have one of my 10 commandments of my life, not the biblical ones, just of me, Maggie. Thou shalt never put wagers on the Atlanta Falcons. But that doesn't mean I can't have a little action on the Tampa Bay Bucks. So how about this? Bucky Irving, Pearl, tonight, more than 19.5 receiving yards. And I'm going to put that together with old friend Kevin Durant. 34.5 points, rebounds, assists. Kevin Durant, Rockets playing the Clippers tonight. Clippers are woeful. And I feel like Durant's going to have a big evening. And you know what? This is what we talk about every morning, every afternoon. It's what are you doing on Prize Picks? And if you want to have fun, play along with us. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MNP. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. It's code MNP on Prize Picks. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Man P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff Show. There are rumors everywhere. If you follow college football, who is Lane Kiffin's quarterback going to be next year? Right now, he's the front runner for Sam Levitt, Lenora Sellers, possibly Arch Manning, and every single other great quarterback is coming to LSU for about $100 million. But they will all pale in comparison to the greatest LSU quarterback of all time, Joe Burrow. That was
nice
my
transition there. I was like, I think you forgot a couple names: Bryce Underwood, DJ Lagway.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, no, you're right. They all could go there. Now, Bryce Underwood. It's interesting who is a Lane Kiffin quarterback. I feel like Sam Levitt should be the number one. He could run that offense like watch. That would be amazing to watch. But or Austin Simmons, who we had last year, but he didn't play him. And Trinidad Chambliss, by the way, is trying to get back for one more year.
Is that right? He must be 25, right?
Yeah, he's trying to get another year, but I think he would go back to Ole Miss. Anyway, that's not the point. Joe Burrow, as we know, probably he was not there for NIL, so he had to get paid the other way.
The old-fashioned way. What did Ed Orgeron say? The
Cuban cigars.
No, the bag of money going out the back door instead of the front door.
Yeah.
That was a hilarious way to put it. No, solid transition there, Pearl. We'll get back to the Michigan scandal in just a moment. If you're wondering why is Bryce Underwood possibly on the market,
it could have been better if I just started with Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, his head coach was in jail last night, or being detained rather, and he's been fired as the head coach of Michigan. We'll get back to that in just a moment. We do want to go to Joe Burrow because. You know, Joe Burrow is a little bit of a different guy, right? Cerebral dude. we got a little glimpse into what he's like from the Netflix documentary. Seems very curious guy, into a lot of different things, hobbies, etc. He's a thoughtful guy. Remember, he's the one who used his Heisman Trophy ceremony to basically raise money for a local food bank in Ohio because of all the food insecurity that was going on in that area. He was one of the first people to ever, talk about George Floyd. Like he's got this other side of him that I think is very much more than a football player. Just keep that in mind as we're listening to this from Joe Burrow. Now, clearly it's been an awful season. I mean, he had toe surgery in the middle of it. They lost to Buffalo last week, basically ended any shot at a playoff berth. Partly his fault for throwing back-to-back interceptions. One of them got tipped. But here's Joe Burrow saying he's only going to keep playing football while it's still fun.
If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? So that's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table.
Okay. Says that Joe Burrow is kind of going through it this season, and it's not just about football. It's about football and personal stuff.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seemed frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Football related, personally?
All the above. Like you said, there's nothing. All we can do is focus week to week and try to win games.
Okay, more from Burrow admitting that the playoffs are out of reach. Now he just has to play the season out and get better every day.
I don't think anybody's really thinking about the playoffs right now. That's within reach, but on our fingertips. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get better.
Okay, so obviously Joe Burrow's going through it right now. There's a couple guys this season who are going through it. I feel like Travis Kelce's going through it. Lamar Jackson's going through it. There's just a few guys who are used to being really good and always being in the conversation, and this year has just been very different. But when you hear that from Burrow, Pearl, first of all, my initial reaction was, Zach Taylor's out. If he's talking about football's not fun anymore and he's contemplating, like, in any way whether or not he wants to continue playing, which feels insane to say that about a young and talented guy, then Zach Taylor's got to go. That was my first reaction.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. I actually had a little thought of, a lot of great quarterbacks do not do this. Like, why be revealing about your personal life? Why not be just this could sound harsh, but a big, dumb puppy dog like Josh Allen, who, when the season's over, just goes to F1 races and plays golf, and you don't know anything about what's happening behind the scenes. That, I think, would be a more prudent approach if you're a star quarterback. Like, Joe Burrow should be just like, this season's tough. Like, be like Tony Romo was on his playing days. Never said a thing. Why are you sharing this? I would advise him, don't do that necessarily. As a journalist, I like when people are revealing, but in a press conference, probably not the place. Probably, I'm not sure what he thinks he's getting out of this, but why would you do that? Why would you say all that?
Well, listen, I mean, Joe Burrow does things publicly. He went around this offseason on basically a one-man mission to get T. Higgins signed and to get Jamar Chase an extension. And then if they have any money left over, Trey Hendrickson, which they really didn't. And he's been hurt anyway.
But that's football stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think Joe might be the kind of guy who, wouldn't be afraid to make it messy. And not that he's a messy guy. No, not that. I'm just saying we've talked about the Cincinnati Bengals in the past. Carson Palmer, who was a franchise guy for them and the number one overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, just like Burrow, who said, get me out of here. I cannot win here. Now, Burrow did actually go to a Super Bowl, so maybe you feel like things are different. And the Bengals did pony up for Chase, and they did pony up for T. Higgins. They seem like they're doing everything possible for the guy, and he's not happy.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about the football stuff. I get all that. Why is he talking about his personal life?
Maybe there's something really big going on. I don't know. Maybe he's dying to tell us that.
No, maybe. I hope not, but maybe a parent is ill or something.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the thing where his house got broken into. I mean, that's got to be pretty traumatizing. And, his girlfriend was home at the time, so that's got to be scary. I don't know. But he obviously is kind of dying to tell us, right? Or else these guys are smart enough and savvy enough that if they want to just go up there and do the QB speak, they can do it. Joe Burrow is letting us in on something, and he's not dumb. So to me, if I'm Zach Taylor, I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going to get fired because Joe Burrow's saying that he's not having a good time playing quarterback, and that's not good for me.
Well, I mean, Zach Taylor is already in trouble anyway. What's their record, 4-8? But
he lost his quarterback. I mean, they had to trade for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, they've definitely been headed the wrong way record-wise, so I think he's in trouble anyway. But it's just interesting. I was thinking of other great quarterbacks. Tom Brady said on The Shop that he lies 95% of the time he's at a podium. A lot of great quarterbacks give you nothing up there. It's just funny. I was thinking about Joe Burrow, like, do I want my quarterback to have this kind of attitude? Probably ideally no, although I personally, I like Joe Burrow. I'm root for him. Even Lamar is having a tough time, and he keeps it positive at the podium. He's just, even now, with this, as bad as it's been, every time he opens his mouth, he's like a ray of sunshine. Like, I just feel like there's something, a negativity around Joe Burrow that I don't really understand. I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish with it.
I wonder if there's any part of him that's looking to get out.
Yeah, but would that be about the football stuff? Like, why is he talking about the other stuff?
Oh, well, I don't know.
That's
we
why
don't
I
know.
feel
We'll eventually know, because if he's saying it at a press conference, then eventually it will come out.
Well, my point is, if he was saying the football stuff is very frustrating, that could help get him out of there. But it seems like much more is going on.
My question is, where do you go? I understand you might not want to be in Cincinnati. Okay. You want to get to where? What's the ideal landing spot here? Who's got this great sleeping giant of a roster, or
Are you talking about this offseason? Or I don't think
Yeah.
we're talking about this offseason. I think we're talking about down the road.
Okay, so eventually he wants to get to LA to play with Sean McVay. So Sean
Yes.
McVay is going to be just the guy who constantly takes the cast off, or the dudes who have been in different situations who have gone as far as they can go.
Yeah, I think you just solved it. We're done. We're done here.
No,
Nothing
I already
else.
put Arch Manning with the Rams, Pearl. I
was
can't
thinking
also have Burrow there.
You definitely want to go indoors. Who is the Raiders' next coach?
I mean, Indy's looking for a guy now.
They have no draft picks.
That's the problem.
No, I think Joe Burrow, I think the timeline will be in a couple of years he'll get out of Cincy. I don't think he's going to get it. And also, too, I'm not sure he's smart. He doesn't necessarily want to leave Jamar Chase. There aren't a lot of that guy out there.
I mean, I floated the Giants on this show.
That's outdoors. It's windy in New York. I'm not sure that's ideal.
I mean, the Giants can't find a coach to save their life.
Malik Neighbors coming off an injury.
But I mean, you got Neighbors.
But you got Jackson Dart now, too.
LSU guy who, they care about that kind of stuff. He's just left in LSU. He has LSU guy now, Jamar Chase. He may look at him, maybe this is a new Chase situation.
They have Jackson Dart. They're not. They don't need it. That probably be in the bottom third of my teams. New York Giants right now. You're saying they're not going to build around Jackson Dart?
Are they going to be dwindling in mediocrity? How long are you going to wait for Jackson Dart to figure this thing out? If you can get a Super Bowl caliber or Super Bowl adjacent quarterback, I'm getting rid of Jackson Dart in a second.
All right, well, we'll know that they're up to something if they hire Ed Orgeron. Let's get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got the latest headlines. So you can call in on Joe Burrow, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476.
Guys, these headlines sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. Nothing new yet this morning on Sharon Moore. As far as we know, he remains in police custody as the local prosecutor decides if charges need to be filed over a possible assault yesterday afternoon. That happened after Michigan fired Moore for an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. In regular college football news, Tennessee reportedly targeting former Penn State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles for that same position. New Nittany Lions head coach Matt Campbell is not keeping Knowles on his staff. Justin Herbert had fresh x-rays of his broken left hand right after Monday night's win over the Eagles.
Everything was clean for the most part. It's just, getting the swelling down and continuing to get full strength in it and continue to do as much treatment as I can.
Everything was clean for the most part is not the most reassuring sentence, but Herbert, of course, will be out there Sunday at Arrowhead. Travis Kelce will be there too, hoping to finally play again like a younger Travis Kelce.
It's a crazy league. Anything happen, and that's the little bit of hope that I have. But man, this is a tough reality to be in. It's a feeling, especially dropping the ball late in the game like that when we were on our last chance to make something shake.
I hear you.
You put in all this work to be there for your guys, and I just wasn't that.
Is the New
Going
Heights
through it.
podcast X-rated?
I was thinking about this. I know he won a Super Bowl with Taylor already as the girlfriend, not the fiance. But do you think he tells her, like, no, you don't understand. I used to be amazing.
Oh, I think she knows. I also think she thinks he's still amazing.
She's in the stadium. She watched him drop that pass.
Yeah, I know.
It's inexcusable.
Well, that was one play. I actually think he looks a lot better this year than he did last year. I thought last year was garbage.
So he's still like is it like top 3 in multiple tight end categories?
Yeah, no, he's headed toward a big number season.
Yes,
a pretty good number season, like 900 yards or something.
But he's had like 3 balls that he has deflected into defenders' hands or dropped them all together. It's been a little weird.
The season started with him trucking his own teammate, and he was out for weeks. I mean, it has not gone well.
But last year he was a blocker. This year, at least, he's running routes. I mean, I think he comes back, actually.
I mean, he can't. He's got to at some point. You're never going to end on a great note in the NFL. It just doesn't work that way. If he's going to say, oh, last year I can't end on this bad season where I ended the Super Bowl and I didn't play well, and now it's going to be, I can't end on the season where we lost all these games. It's never going to be perfect.
Yeah. Well, for some guys it's perfect, but not everybody.
It's very rare.
One more bit here from Travis, who says he is trying to be better.
I've always had the answers in years past, and this year I just can't find them. And I keep thinking if I show up to work and I put in the work and I fix the issues through my practice habits and through perfecting the game plan and my fundamentals and what I'm being taught, and go out there and try and play my ass off for my guys next to me, it's all going to come together like it has in years past. And this year's just not, man.
Moving on, the NBA Cup Final Four is now set. The Spurs ran past the Lakers last night, 132-119 in LA, behind 30 from Stephon Castle. And the Thunder hammered the Suns 138-89, improving to 24-1. So those two teams meet in Vegas on Saturday night alongside the Knicks and the Magic. The final would be Monday night, EJ?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the game that doesn't count? Both of those games, Saturday and Monday? Or like, what's the extra game?
Towards your record.
I think just the championship game, right?
Of is the only one that doesn't count.
It's like the 83rd game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an exhibition game.
Well, you get to make money.
There's mad money involved.
Yeah, the money is what makes up for the...
Yeah.
And the unfortunate part is we could have to be here Tuesday morning after a Knicks triumph in the NBA Cup.
I mean, do we make more
EJ's
fun?
Excited.
Do we make more fun of the Knicks if they win that or if they lose that? Because if they win that and hang a banner, it is going to be laughingstock city for a long time.
Yeah. Nico informs me that the game is actually Tuesday night, the final. So Wednesday morning would be either, I don't know what, good or bad for us.
Everybody's, I know.
I already don't feel well, by the way.
Making fun of us winning.
You don't hang a banner for that.
Oh, when you guys dance in the streets, we will 100%
No
make
one
fun
will
of
dance
you.
in the streets when the Knicks win the NBA Cup.
Wait,
Okay,
hold on
challenge
1 second.
accepted.
Or how about this? Hanging a banner. Madison Square Garden hung a banner for Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
They all hang all types of banners up there.
Yeah, but it's hard for the Knicks. They don't got one for Bernard King. Melo may have some challenges. The Knicks aren't as easy.
I mean, you guys...
Man, Melo's going to end up in the rafters.
Bernard King isn't retired?
No, yeah. It's a big thing.
I'm sorry. I love Melo. We can talk about this offline. I don't want to subject the audience to this.
You're not a Melo to the rafters person?
No, I'm not a Melo. I'm a Melo overall, thumbs up, but not to the rafters. No.
But King for sure.
You would think, but he's not in the rafters.
I think it's embarrassing to hang out. When you have a trophy where you beat the Lakers, a banner where you beat the Lakers in 73 or whatever, right next to you beat, I didn't even hear the teams.
It might be the Thunder.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, what's the other team? Beating the regular season OKC Thunder, it might have all beat the 73 Lakers. You know how hard it is to beat that team?
Everyone should hang banners if you beat the Thunder this year. But the Lakers hung a banner for the in-season.
That was ridiculous.
Yes.
And they had to sell the team. It was so embarrassing.
Mavs center Derek Lively II needs season-ending right foot surgery. This has been a lingering issue for him, and it's another injury. He has only played basically half of his possible regular season games since entering the league for various issues. And men's number 6, Purdue, pounded Minnesota last night, 85-57. Braden Smith, 15 points and 12 assists.
Folks, can you explain again why Derek Lively is the 2 and not the junior? For Nico.
If they're using the construction in the way I think you do, that means that like somebody further back in his past than his dad was named Derek Lively.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's a grandfather, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how many
Bunch of
Dereks we were
nonsense.
making
But
3
all of us-
generations ago.
All of us are named after grandparents, and I wouldn't put.
I'm not.
Well, I'm not either, but a lot of people are. But most people don't use it too.
But I mean, you have to be exactly that. You have to be exactly Derek Thomas Lively again. So that's to get to the second.
And his dad is Derek Lively Sr.
Is
Oh,
he?
jeez, Louise.
Well, now all bets
So
are
he should be
off.
the third.
Yeah, but
He's supposed, he's supposed to be a junior.
Talking a big game there. I don't know.
I did when you first asked me. I said if they're using it correctly, that means somebody other than his dad is that name. Now I don't know what the freedom is to go second or junior, but that's the way I thought it worked.
I'm out on this.
You had a tough stretch, Nico. Birds and the Bees yesterday. Sharon Moore. Now this. Did the Islanders win the other night? They did, right?
Yes.
That's all you got going for you.
That's it.
Okay.
Hanging on by a thread. 888-710-4ISN. Thank you, Bogues. We'll get back to Michigan, the scandal. They are now looking for a new head football coach now that Sharon Moore has been fired. Meanwhile, Phillip Rivers at the podium yesterday doing a tight 15. It was like he was doing a set of comedy up there, had the reporters in stitches. We'll get to that. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Of the show is brought to you by Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Welcome to the Maggie and Perloff show. We get back to the Michigan scandal in just a moment. They're looking for a new head coach after Sharon Moore was fired for cause yesterday. But Joe Burrow, understated as always, Pearl, in his comments, but, at the podium yesterday, talking about he doesn't want to play football if it's not fun anymore, and how he's going through things not just on the field but in his personal life. In this day and age, that's almost like sending up a flare for people to start talking about you and your future. So we are, and wondering if maybe his future is not going to be in Cincinnati. And Rick in Myrtle Beach has a good idea of where Joe Burrow may land if he decides he doesn't want to play in Cincinnati anymore. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning. Actually, it's a bad idea because I'm a Bears fan. But what about Minnesota?
Hey, you're handing them right to the enemy.
Indoors. Yeah, indoors. Great coach, great receivers. JJ's a bust, thank goodness. I'd hate to see it, but I tell you what, for Joe Burrow, that might be a landing spot that would really work. And imagine the NFC North.
Yeah.
If he did.
Hey, how does he have that conversation, Rick, with Jamar Chase? Hey, Jamar, I love you, but I'm going to go join Justin in Minnesota because and Jamar and Justin are best friends, I think, but they compete. That'd be an odd conversation.
Yeah. Like I said, I hate to see it, but then again, that would be the absolute most dominant. The NFC North would be all four teams would be, especially my Bears, would be so powerful.
Yeah, talk about
hey, you all. Hey,
yeah,
I appreciate it. You have a good day.
Oh, thanks. You too, Rick. You think Caleb Williams with the Bears and Ben Johnson on the way up. Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, obviously on the way up, and Dan Campbell and Jared Goff still very dangerous. And then you add Joe Burrow to the mix in that division.
Oh, wow.
Sheesh.
Yeah, remember there was a division that was really stacked at quarterback. Was it? Oh, actually, no, it's Joe Burrow's division is stacked at quarterback. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and I don't know who the Steelers is in that mix. But we thought the AFC North was going to be the super quarterback conference division. It didn't happen.
No, we'll get to what's going on with the Browns, though, in just a little bit. Brad is in Oregon, wants to weigh in on a question we were talking about before. Oh, wait, Brad, you have a choice for Michigan's next head coach? Who are you putting forward?
Yeah, Maggie, first of all, I think you've got 100% idea with the Rams going after Manning. Hey, you get a year to learn behind Stafford. You turn around, you get McVay. I think it's a perfect deal. Plus, he doesn't go back to Texas for another year and take a chance on getting hurt. I'm just going to throw a name out there. Chip Kelly. I know going to Michigan. I know he just interviewed at Georgia Tech. But add the more intensity between Ohio State and Michigan. And with that goofy offense that he's got, that's what Michigan needs. They need to put some kind of offense out there. And I just throwing his name out there. And as far as Joe Burrow goes, wasn't this the same Joe Burrow last week when they about coming back and playing? Well, I want to be out there with my players and my teammates, and that's what I get paid a lot of money for to do is to play football. Now all of a sudden he doesn't know if it's going to be fun anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well,
good point.
Clearly,
good
Brad,
point.
Joe Burrow's having issues right now. There were some people online who were saying this sounds like a little like Andrew Luck, but it really doesn't. Like Andrew Luck retired out of nowhere. Nobody knew. He didn't say anything. He never left breadcrumbs or anything. Andrew Luck just went through a lot of injuries and then called it quits.
Then he had that really bad one at the very end. So I don't think, Andrew Luck, I think would have still played if he was healthy. He was 2 weeks away from the season. He wanted to play.
Yeah, right.
I don't think that Burrow's health has been that bad yet. Luck's was really bad for a long, long time.
Yeah. So yes, Burrow is definitely going through something kind of odd here. And can I tell you the look on Nico's face when Brad brought up Chip Kelly to be the next head coach at Michigan? Nico's our diehard Michigan fan here. I've never seen like what's this like? Get out of here, like a SWAT away, double SWAT. You don't want Chip Kelly. You can't, if you really want to bump up the rivalry and do like the most trolly kind of hire, I guess, then you hire Urban Meyer. Go to the source, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely not for Chip Kelly. It would be ironic, though, because you were talking about Tom Brady before. He's the one that brought him to Vegas.
And it was terrible.
Bring him to Ann Arbor.
Yeah. You can't let Brady near this coaching search. Like, let him be an ambassador. If you guys, do you follow Brady on Instagram?
No.
Thank God.
I mean, I probably do. I don't even know.
It's whatever. He's in Michigan all the time.
Am I going crazy here? Weren't you all about how Tom Brady's going to fix the Raiders for a year and a half? Now
wrong.
You're the exact opposite. Can't you be in a gray area at all?
No. That's how bad it's been with the Raiders. No, I can't be in the gray area.
Well, I mean,
you're Maggie Gray.
He hired Pete Carroll. He didn't hire, Brady Hoke. I mean,
no,
what's the
but
big
he
deal?
wanted Chip Kelly. He wanted Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
It was a huge mistake. And despite my name being Maggie Gray, I'm a very black and white kind of person.
By the way, what's funny? Urban Meyer would probably say no to Michigan before Michigan said no to Urban Meyer. I'm being dead serious. Because Urban's from Ohio. He cannot go to Michigan.
Yeah, he can't do that.
He can't do that. And Urban would be a nice save. Kick save at a Butte.
Yeah, because nothing's gone wrong with Urban behind the scenes. I don't know. I think
he beat Michigan every time he was there.
I think you need someone a little bit cleaner right now, no?
I never would have thought that Saquon Barkley would have wanted to go to the Eagles, but here we are.
That's different, though. I mean, the Eagles-Giants is intense. It's not Michigan-Ohio State.
Also, the Giants said no. But yes, I get it. Nico, you're right. Sometimes guys change squads, and it's just there's not loyalty anymore. That's out the window. But anyway, as far as actual, real, legit candidates for Michigan, we will tell you ours in just a matter of moments. Earl, do you have someone who's the front runner amongst anyone else? I
got to be honest. On my X feed, it was Jetfish, and more Jetfish. Like immediately, he's really well connected amongst the media. Always has been. Has NFL ties and college ties. He's done a great job at Washington. Was at Michigan, and I saw around 2016. That'd be a good save because I think what you need. If you really want to keep Bryce Underwood an offensive guy and a more high-flying offensive guy than Sharon Moore, that was what I didn't really understand about Sharon Moore in Michigan. They just felt kind of boring. And Harbaugh won that way, but is that sustainable to be a team that is going to be conservative in this day and age? I guess it might be, but I'm looking around. If I'm a recruit, I would rather go play for Ryan Day or Kurt Cignetti and fly up and down the field as an offensive player. A defense, I totally get.
So I think Kenny Dillingham really would be the guy. And I know he's not necessarily a household name. He's the Arizona State head coach, obviously took Texas to the wire last year in the college football playoff. And by the way, is the only team to beat Texas Tech so far this year. So he's shown that he can clearly coach well and obviously a stabilizing force because he took over an Arizona State program that was not doing well and turned them around immediately. Plus, we know his quarterback, Sam Leavitt, has said he's going to enter the portal. So if Bryce Underwood does leave and goes to play for Lane Kiffin or gets another opportunity somewhere and wants to take it, you could bring a ready-made quarterback to Michigan ready to go.
But he is leaving Dillingham now.
All right, or not. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to play somewhere else.
It's funny. Dillingham's been in the press a lot this week because I had a press conference or something that's been cut up. he said he's been turning down offers left and right. So I'm not sure. Even if Michigan wanted him, he might say, I want to stay at Arizona State.
Okay, but think about it. Michigan probably would be the second. If we took all the openings that have happened so far this offseason, I think Michigan is probably 2 right behind LSU.
I think there's one guy we're missing that we had talked a lot about yesterday. What about Marcus Freeman?
Why? That'd be a lateral move.
Right,
but
right now he has a Notre Dame problem. He is not in the conference, and not being in conference just costs him going to the college football playoff. You don't have that conference problem playing in Michigan.
Yeah, but he's going to coach the Giants next year. How's he going to do both?
I'm saying if he doesn't get an NFL job,
he better take C.J. Carr with him.
I think that's probably an easy thing to do. He's Lloyd Carr's grandson.
That's a good
He's an Ohio State guy too, by the way.
888-710-4ISN. Coming up next, our King of the Mountain.
Well, the sun came up on a Thursday morning. The boys at the station felt a little torn. Infinity's gone like dust in the wind, and Peter Bellotti ain't been seen since then. They checked the studio, checked the hall, checked the break room near the coffee wall. But Pete's old chair just spins and squeaks, empty now, been empty for weeks. Because Bellotti rode off into that no-show sunset, a legend who no one's laid eyes on yet. Infinity's over, the sign came down, but Pete's new kingdom's of tennis courts now. He's beating Ruben Pierre every single damn day. Drop shots, backhand, sending them away. Yeah, the station may change, but one truth remains: Bellotti ain't punching in ever again. Roof shows up with a brand new racket. Pierre's got headbands stuffed in his jacket. They stretch, they warm up, they pray, and they sweat. But Bellotti strolls in and hands them regret. Drunk Sam rolled up late with a grin on his face, holding fryer oil like a trophy all over the place. Daly stood there shaking like a leaf in his shoe. Sam said, relax, boy, frying turkey is something you cannot lose. Infinity's gone, just smoke on the wind. But Sam said a feast heals all, let Thanksgiving begin. Man, he started yapping into that cursed mic again. Words drifting everywhere without reason or end. Crowd begged someone shut him off before we all go insane. Grunkle whispered, I will hit that switch myself if I have to, friend. This is Thanksgiving chaos.
Trouble Sam took the mic in sequence, and Shame said, I'll win this contest, you'll remember my name. But the teleprompter froze, he pulled out a cheat sheet, lip sync and turn back time with 2 left feet. Oh, the crowd, they booed, the DJ cried, even Cher herself would have run to hide. If he could cheat in karaoke, he'd be the champ, but it's all hokey. With a glass of gin and a tambourine, he's the sloppiest diva you've ever seen. Meanwhile, at the station, the chaos goes on. Bellotti's working, but he's still not gone. The phones are ringing, the bosses scream, but Pete's still ghosting like it's part of the team. Sam's spilling beer on the judge's chair, screaming, do you believe, with his hands in the air. The crown is crooked, the crowd's in despair. Bloody no-shows, but no one cares. It's sympathy in karaoke. You'd be the champ, but it's all hokey. With a glass of gin and a tambourine, he's the sloppiest diva you've ever seen. Meanwhile at the station, the karaoke, he'd be the champ, but it's all hokey. With a glass of gin and a tambourine, he's the sloppiest diva you've ever seen. He's sympathy in karaoke. It's still the crowd.
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Crazy news coming out of Michigan. Their head coach, Sharon Moore, has already been fired. Credible evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staffer was what the announcement said, Pearl, but it didn't stop there. Sharon Moore was then detained last night in a suburb of Ann Arbor, a prison jail. He's being investigated into possible charges of an alleged assault when police were called to an apartment complex yesterday afternoon. Bad all around for Michigan and for Sharon Moore. We'll get more details of what happened and what was going on, I'm sure, in the days and weeks ahead. But two of the questions I have. Number one, who knew what when? Because the moment that this news dropped last night, every college football insider said, oh, we've been hearing about this for weeks. We've been hearing about this for weeks. There's been rumors and whispers, but nobody could report on it because you can't report on every rumor you hear. Meanwhile, maybe some new evidence came to light that gave Michigan a reason to start reinvestigating or investigating for the first time. Anyway, who knew when, what, when is going to be number one. And then the second part is obviously the football side of things, which is this is a team now that needs a head coach.
Yeah, it was shocking. I remember it came down around, 4:30 Eastern, and that was the last headline I expected because we are not in a firing season at all. You know, if they were going to fire him for any kind of football reason, it would have had to been several weeks ago. Yeah, I think they are in real trouble for this year. But if I'm Michigan, and I think you agree with this, it is time to take a step back, reevaluate everything. And honestly, I'm thinking about 2 years from now. I know that the transfer portal opens January 2nd, but to hire a coach and be ready for the transfer portal in 3 weeks is impossible.
Well, then maybe is there a thought that instead of trying to scramble and pry somebody away from a program they're already at, do you just have Biff Poggi, who is the interim now? Do you keep him for a year and hold the fort? I'm
generally not a fan of coaches named Biff, but I will go with this one.
Yeah, it's a fun name. But I guess here's the thing. I don't know if anyone feels like in college football you can afford to sit one out.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't know if they have a great choice here, though.
Well, you want to know why, I think, is because so much of college football has always been this way, but even more now, is about money from the boosters. And I think if you say, all right, we're just going to take a year to kind of reset and regroup, well, I'm not giving you any money then. Like, why would I give you money for the reset year? I want to give you money for the I'm getting excited year, right? And we have got somebody big in place.
LSU is the opposite. They've been raising money like crazy after a disappointing year.
No, but they have Lane Kiffin.
Right. No, they got Lane Kiffin. Once you get bad, that's when you really get a lot of money. LSU struggled this year, and the money apparently flowed in like a river.
Yeah, but if they had said, you know what, we're going to go with one of Brian Kelly's assistant coaches, and then we're going to regroup.
Right.
Then I don't think the money would have rolled in. I think that Lane got everyone back in feeling good about themselves or feeling good about the direction of the program. That's why I think they have to go out there and try to get someone with a big name.
Well, no, I think that they should hire a guy and sign him to a 1-year contract.
Like Frank Reich with Stanford this year?
Yes, somebody old like that. Well, Frank Reich's not that old, but somebody, established. I think they should do like Frank Reich, an interim coach, just so it's a signal to the donors, hey, we're going to go all in next year.
I don't think they've got that kind of time.
That's
really
why they don't have time to get the big name. What big name? I mean, you mentioned a couple names that were good: Jed Fish and Kenny Dillingham.
Clark Lee from Vanderbilt.
These are big names. First of all, we don't know if they want to go to this situation, which is not ideal. And we don't even really know how the portal works. These decisions might be done for all we know. It's like in the NFL, these players and these agents are sitting around. You think they're waiting till January 2nd? It might be too late already, Maggie.
I don't know. That's why if you do get someone like a Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State, maybe it's possible his quarterback comes with him, maybe not. Listen, January 2nd is when the portal opens, but things change very quickly in college football. You're talking about teenagers, really. No one's signed on a dotted line yet. I still think there's always a chance in recruiting to turn someone's head at the last minute. Hell, look what Michigan did with their own quarterback, Bryce Underwood. He was committed to LSU until finally Larry Ellison's wife, who's a Michigan alum, got the money to get and flip Bryce Underwood along with like Dave Portnoy and a bunch of other rich alums. So I don't know. If I were Michigan, I'm trying to also clear the bad taste out of this whole thing because you were riding high with Jim Harbaugh. You won the national title. But the other people around Harbaugh and Harbaugh himself, it's been kind of embarrassing. Connor Stallions, whether you think that made a big impact or not, the sign stealing scandal, that's not a good headline for Michigan. The fact that one of their coaches is being federally indicted for hacking into phones of student athletes to get pictures of girls, that's not good. You got multiple guys with show cause penalties. Hell, even Denard Robinson, who is a legend at Michigan, has been disgraced because of recruiting violations or has a show cause penalty. It hasn't been great. I would turn the page here from the Harbaugh era and go to somebody like a Clark Lee, Eli Drinkwitz from Mizzou, a Kenny Dillingham, and just get some new blood in here if you can pry them away from their schools.
Yeah, do they have the same chance, let's say, Eli Drinkwitz, do they have the same chance of getting him now in mid-December that they would have had in mid-November? There's a lot of factors at play there. So I wonder how the timing of all this affects their ability to get that guy this offseason. I think they might have to wait a year.
Let's go to Mike. He's in Boise. Mike, who do you have for the Michigan Wolverines this morning?
I'm not sure you could get him, but if you can get him, I think Chris Peterson would be a good hire. He's squeaky clean, above reproach, well-respected. He still has a lot of connections, different coaches, and could put together a staff if you need a clean house.
Yes, obviously the former Boise coach, and Mike, you know him well. I just looked it up, 61 years old. That's spring chicken for college coaching. Mike, thank you for the call. Chris Peterson, what do you think about taking him out of retirement?
That's my model, old guy for a year. I mean, I'm not sure. Does he have any connection at all to the program?
I don't think you need a connection right now to the program. In fact, maybe that's a bonus if you.
But when you bring in the old guy to sort of sit there for a year, isn't it usually somebody who coached there before? This has happened. I can't think of it. It's funny. I'm not thinking of examples off the top of my head. This has happened before with colleges and pro teams where you just bring in the legend to steady the ship and then you hire the young guy.
I mean, he's mostly been a West Coast guy. He grew up in California, went to Sacramento City and UC Davis, coached at UC Davis, coached at Oregon, coached at Boise, obviously, in Washington. He had 1 year stop at Pitt. Closest you're going to get as a QB coach in 1992.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, that was the guy talking about it. Can you imagine? People were trying to pry him away from Boise.
Yep.
I've never seen a coach who said no more in the history of the world than Chris Peterson. So he's used to saying no.
All right. Nico had one more name. Nico's our Michigan fan here. You'd like this guy or you would not like this guy?
No, I would not like this guy because it seems like he can't win a big game. But I've seen a lot of Brian Kelly on social media.
I think LSU is probably putting that rumor out there because they want him to take another job so they don't have to pay him all that money, Pearl. I think
Kelly wouldn't be bad. That's not bad.
See, I don't want Brian Kelly right now. And here's why. I don't know how true this was because obviously there's a lot of sour grapes happening at LSU and it was not a good fit. The allegations are that he wasn't working hard. I'd really need to get to the bottom of that because I can't have somebody coming in who's just going to be there to like cash a check and not, or maybe stick it to LSU. But is that really the reason why I want you taking the job? I don't know. I'd have to figure out how true were those allegations, Pearl, that Brian Kelly was not given 100%.
Good question. Hey, we haven't talked about the NFL guys. Brian Dable, for example. There's got to be a lot of NFL guys who Are there any with Michigan ties? Or guys are going to get fired soon, and defense coordinators, offensive coordinators,
So
young offensive coordinator, young defensive coordinator.
Well, so Jesse Minter, obviously, is a name that keeps popping up. He won a national championship with Michigan as the defensive coordinator. Now, with Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, the problem is he's got a show cause penalty because he's another guy who got in trouble for recruiting violations, and it doesn't expire until April.
What about Dable?
So you have Wink Martindale already on the staff, defensive coordinator. Now, maybe Wink leaves, but he and Daboll, let's just say, how to put this politely, did not see eye to eye.
Yeah, it's on site with those guys.
Like, they might throw down.
It'd be a good fight to see, too. I think they would, that would be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Because, like, Daboll's kind of the low man, but I think Wink's a little bit bigger. They're both kind of a little bit around the middle.
Daboll's got a temper.
So does Wink.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying. That's why I'd love to see those guys go at it.
Yeah, there's actually, I was just thinking about, there's so many coordinators who are up for jobs. Why not hire an NFL offensive or defensive coordinator and bring him in? That'd be a splash.
Okay, so you can. The problem is that you're not going to get one of those guys until January, like until Black Friday happens. So you got to wait a little longer. I don't know. If you're Michigan, you probably feel like you need this filled today.
I also don't know if I want a coordinator who's never been a head coach learn how to be a college head coach with the NIL transfer portal situation.
Well, you can go with like
a
Cliff Kingsbury, who had, he wasn't coaching college during this particular NIL era, but
he would probably be the one guy I think that would be I would take Cliff Kingsbury if I was Michigan.
That'd be a bad fit. Because it's freezing in Michigan.
Yeah, it's cold weather.
Cliff is as West Texas as they come.
But I think you've been saying it, though. Like, their offense is so lame. I do think they need to move away from this ground and pound thing at least a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
I thought about Joe Brady, by the way. Bill's offensive
Joe Brady
coordinator.
is, that's another one. That's the perfect one. Why not him?
But apparently he doesn't love NIL. And he doesn't love recruiting.
He's busy right now, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you got to wait till next year.
Then
you have the whole NFL in front of you. Get in Lloyd Carr. He's 80. He could do it.
Yeah, but wouldn't that make recruiting even worse? Because who's going to want to come play for a coach knowing that he's leaving in a year anyway?
Yeah, bring in a whole new team next year. Texas Tech style.
It's not that easy. I mean, Deion tried to do that, and it gave him 9 wins in 1 year because he had Travis Hunter, and they've been terrible since. It's hard. Like, the turnover a roster, I mean, you think it's easy, but
it might have to happen anyway, EJ.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
888-710-4ISN if you want to talk about who should be the next Michigan head coach. This segue is not going to make sense to a lot of people, but speaking of Cliff Kingsbury, let's get to Maggie and Perloff's King of the Mountain.
Who is the King of the Mountain? Maggie and Perloff search for the greatest NFL team of all time.
There you go. Best NFL team of all time. We go through it week to week. The current King of the Mountain, Pearl, they've been there now for 6 weeks, is the 1985 Chicago Bears.
When William the Refrigerator Perry barged in for Chicago's final touchdown, the most one-sided game in Super Bowl history was complete. After 22 years of frustration, Chicago had finally recaptured its place at pro football's summit. They dominated this game and this season as few teams had ever before. Yet the Bears also captured the country's imagination with their flair for excitement and fun. The Bears return home as world champions.
I just noticed, because we've played that clip now 6 weeks in a row, he says flair and excitement and fun with no joy behind his voice whatsoever.
Harry Callis, the GOAT. Are you kidding me? He doesn't need joy. He's Harry Callis.
He's like, flair, excitement, and fun. There's nothing fun and exciting about the way he read that. It's funny to me. Okay, obviously, 85 Bears. They're the current King of the Mountain. They've vanquished all who've stood before them. We know about the dominance in the postseason, as you just heard from Harry Callis. The 15-1 record, 6 Hall of Famers on that team, and they were the first defense in the NFL to lead the league in points allowed, yards allowed, and takeaways. Clearly, they had the number 1 defense, Pearl. They had the number 2 offense that year, obviously, with the great Walter Payton. So,
it's pretty good.
Who challenges them this week? It's the 2004 New England Patriots.
Let me just read you a little something here. I thought this was kind of interesting. First, I couldn't believe it, but it's actually true. Talking about the Philadelphia parade after the game. All right, it's 11 o'clock in case any of you want to attend that.
We read that to the team and, just to let them know how things were going to be, what the Eagles are going to do on Tuesday and what they had planned.
If he wanted to get a rise out of us from the little parade route, he'd get a little rise out of us and then level us off. How do we win the game? How do we get that done? And it's do your job.
Do your job. Do your job.
Intercepted. And that is it. The Patriots are going to be Super Bowl champions again.
All right, there you go. 04 Pats. According to Warren Sharp, Pearl, very respected football analytics guy, he says this is the greatest team of the Patriots Super Bowl teams. This is number one, according to DVOA. So obviously this was the third of the first three with Brady and Belichick, winning 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. They were only the second team to do that. It was the beginning of what would become basically 2 decades of dominance.
Yeah.
And so many Super Bowl appearances and obviously the 6 wins. This is obviously a painful memory for you because this was the Super Bowl where they defeated your Philadelphia Eagles. And as we heard, that was the Donovan McNabb T.O. situation. And that's where we heard that the Eagles had already planned the parade. Do you think that's true or was that just BS from Belichick?
I'm sure you have to plan the parade, right? You can't just, I'm sure every team plans the parade, right? Yeah, but I do like what Brucey's saying, like Belichick was looking for bulletin board material and found a little one. I'm thinking about this actual matchup, the 85 Bears. What was the 85 Bears kryptonite? It was a great coach on the other side of Buddy Ryan left, then Joe Gibbs destroyed them the next 2 playoffs. Gibbs was a little bit like Belichick. I think Bill Belichick might have been able to solve this 85 Bears team. Because you definitely would have to play conservatively on offense, and that 04 Patriots could do that. I mean, Brady wasn't really Brady yet because you don't want those pass rushers coming at you. I think this is one of the first real challenges to the Bears I've seen because I think Belichick would have had a masterful plan. Although, I mean, the Bears coaching staff was great too, but this is a toss-up to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think you've ever given any of the teams that have challenged the 85 Bears even a puncher's chance. And we've had some Chiefs teams in here. We've had a lot of really talented teams that have challenged the Bears and our Maggie and Perloff King of the Mountain.
I mean, the Bears started off by beating Bill Walsh's Niners. That was hard. But I got to be honest. I think in reality, the 04 team could have handled this Bears team.
Okay, can I say why I don't think that would have happened?
Okay.
Because the Super Bowls that Tom Brady has lost, okay, what happened? What had to happen for Tom to actually D-line? The Giants in 07, the Giants in 11, and your Philadelphia Eagles in 2017. Those D-lines, not only were they rotating guys in, the NASCAR package, you guys basically were doing hockey line changes. The Eagles were against Brady in that Super Bowl, and that's how you get to him. And I think the Bears just would have crushed Brady. I don't know if he would have been suffocated.
Well, yeah, but you think in 07, the Patriots transformed their offense to become passing offense.
Right.
D-lines were not affecting them in 04 because all they did was throw screen passes. I mean, they were much less vulnerable to that kind of attack in the first era, I think. They were really more of a defensive team. They were actually closer to the 85 Bears than the 07 Patriots.
Yeah.
That was a totally different team.
I know. And Donovan McNabb will probably remember Willie McGinnis forever with that big sack.
I mean,
at the end of the game.
that Super Bowl is known for one thing, right? 2 things, really. But I'd say 3 things.
I think it's 2 things, but go ahead.
Donovan McNabb throwing up, number 1.
Yep.
T.O. playing on a broken leg.
Yep.
And the fact that the media had to stay in cruise ships.
Oh.
You guys might be too young for that. But that was a massive deal. Or maybe it was guess. Somebody had to stay in cruise ships in Jacksonville. And I remember that was every headline.
That's funny. Meanwhile, great run by the Pats. Beat Peyton Manning and the Colts. Beat the Steelers. Pretty good stuff. All right. 888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. Sorry.
Wait, did you have anything
Peyton
else?
Manning crushed Ben Roethlisberger. Like, they really beat him up.
Yeah, did you have any other memory from that Super Bowl as a lasting one?
No, I don't remember the cruise ships. I only had the first 2. McNabb throwing up and T.O. playing on broken.
But I'm very curious about that. How would that 04 team do against 16, 17 for the Patriots?
You can go vote. Yeah, you can go vote right now at Maggie and Pearl, King of the Mountain, 85 Bears versus 04 Patriots. and let's see how it goes. All right, coming up next, we go back to this Michigan scandal, and we go boots on the ground. Mike Valenti is going to join us from Detroit next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. I got to tell you, Maggie, this Jerome Moore story really took over everything yesterday. Imagine a big local story, but it's a big national story too. In the state of Michigan, they must be really into it. And I'm curious, who knew what when? It does seem like there were a lot of whispers around from alumni.
Yeah, let's go to Boots on the Ground, shall we? And welcome in Mike Valenti. He's the afternoon host on 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit. He's an authority on all things Michigan sports. And we're glad to have him this morning. Mike, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing this morning?
We're doing well. So what's been the reaction locally to Sharon Moore being fired for cause? It was a credible evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staffer, according to the school. And then on top of that, he was also detained last night in a jail in the suburbs of Ann Arbor, being investigated for possible charges of assault. So what's been the fallout locally?
Well, it's just it's the blessing and the curse of doing live radio. This happened, this was midstream of my show. So you deal with, look, we're kind of numb to Michigan scandals. This has kind of become their bag. This is what they do. So we've just dealt with one of these seemingly every 3 months. But obviously, look, fans here were already unhappy with him. So there was this weird air of, well, he's fired for doing something unscrupulous. Great, we get a new coach. It was only until after I get off the air, then you find out some of the sordid details of it. Argument with his wife, breaking into his mistress's house with a knife, threatening to kill her, threatening to kill himself, flees, picked up, suicidal. It's a complete mess. I mean, the whole thing is a mess. The problem, Maggie, and this is where I get frustrated, is, Michigan is a heavily covered program. It should be. And when you get into the reporter class, I am not a reporter. I've never pretended to be. I do radio, right? I'm an entertainer. You try to ask reporters, hey, this is what the whispers are, what's going on. It's just so problematic the day that happens. Then all the reporters come out, Michigan reporters going, yeah, we'd heard a lot about this. Then where was your reporting? You know what I mean? If it's this big open secret that this guy can't keep his pants on, that might be relevant reporting. But the other side of this too, and I'm originally from New York. I am a skeptic by nature, but they were unhappy with this guy. He was nothing more than a patsy. He was the only guy who could take over that program because every other coach had either been fired, show-caused, or left for the NFL. So they were looking for a way out anyways. I think Sharon Moore just handed it to him on a silver platter. And, naturally they wait until they lose to OSU, until they know they're not in the playoff, and until they get their class signed just a couple of days ago. And then magically an investigation shows this guy's been behaving in an atrocious manner. So there's skepticism. There's a lot of side eye about it. And it's this weird combination, guys. You have fans who, Michigan for a long time fancied themselves as somehow being this moral authority. They've become everything they hated and thumbed their nose at. You've got fans happy that a new coach is coming here, even if it's under this circumstance. And then you end up with, this story sucks. I mean, this is awful. You've got lives ruined. It's atrocious. So it's a real mixed bag.
Can I go back a year or two? Why'd they hire Sharon Moore if it seemed like people were not that into him as a coach?
Yeah, well, the problem was nobody else. First of all, nobody with professional options would touch the program because it was radioactive. If you guys look back, they were embroiled in the biggest cheating scandal on field in the history of the sport. And again, we can zoom right to now, and you go, well, wait, the NCAA didn't totally hammer it. Well, the NCAA is feckless. Everybody knows what was going on, and this was kind of, he was the O-line coach, he was the OC, and he's the only guy left. I mean, you can trace this back. You look at whether it's, assistant like Chris Patridge let go. Mike Hart disappeared into ether. Jesse Minter went with Harbaugh. Mike McDonald ended up leaving for the NFL. There was nobody left, guys. So you end up, we're in a cheating scandal. We have 6 or 7 level 1 violations hanging over their head. You go, all right, well, we'll just keep this guy in here. And let's face it, he's cheap. He's cheap, easily disposable. And now they'll go out. This is the thing. Michigan always falls up in life. Watch, they'll go out now, even amidst this. They'll go out and hire Kalen DeBoer or Jed Fish. Watch.
Mike, why did they go outside of the program last year? Wouldn't that have been an opportunity to break from that terrible scandal?
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, there were people last year. It's a great question. There were people last year by week 5 or 6 when they played USC. I was already getting the phone calls from listeners going, I want him out. I'm done. I don't like this guy. And you just kind of brush that off and go, guys, you're replacing Harbaugh. You also knew the other team's plays for the previous 3 years. This is probably going to look a little different, okay? This is going to look slightly different. But, yeah, look, this was something that you felt like eventually he was going to be gone anyways. He did not profile or seem to be the type of coach that would get them to the ultimate goal. But the other part of it is you had to let the NCAA finish doing their work, get that done, and then you kind of get clearance to do it. And let's face it, the Big Ten was awful this year, and they had faked it till they maked it all year, right? They played 2 good teams, lost to them both. They got their doors blown off. But if they had beaten OSU at the end of the year, they were going to creep into the playoff. So you had this kind of, serve and volley back and forth of what you want to do versus, wait a minute, if we end up getting in, you're, tens of millions of dollars. And then once that was obvious that wasn't happening because they weren't that good, all right, well, how do we effectively move on? I go back to it. If this was such a poorly kept secret in Ann Arbor, you cannot tell me. Like, it's an old phrase. Don't bleep on my head and tell me it's raining. If it's so well known, then the school had to know.
Yeah.
Then the athletic department had to know.
Mike.
So at that point, you ask yourself, well, then what have you been waiting on, guys? And it's the things I referenced.
Yeah. And Mike Valenti is joining us, 97.1 The Ticket and Detroit, the authority on all things Michigan sports. And that's what that was the one thing, Mike, that stood out to me, and being a national person and not being boots on the ground in Michigan, is like every college football insider, the moment the story broke, was like, well, we've been hearing about this since before the season started. It's like,
right.
Guys, okay, but, I get it. A lot of rumors happen, especially in college. But here's my question. How much more fallout could we have here? Because it's going to get into a who knew what when situation. Yeah. Because let's be honest, you said it, this story sucks as far as how serious this got, and Sharon Moore is detained in a jail cell right now with a lot of serious things. If you want to, you could be generous and say that could have all been avoided if someone could have seen this train coming down the tracks. But if they did nothing, well, then people are going to have to answer for that, right?
Yeah, you would think. Look, I do think we have to view this in 2 different lenses, which is there's the NCAA and bylaws, and they're toothless. They're a collection of losers. And then the law. And I mean, if you're talking about you knew this was going on, did you in any way step in? And we know what college programs are famous for, impacting investigations or sham investigations. I think the person in the crosshairs has got to be the athletic director, Ward Manuel. And again, Ward is really, there should be books written about Ward Manuel, because no AD in America has had more scandals, maybe in the history of college sports, than Ward. I mean, it's every 3 months, guys. It doesn't matter whether I went to Quinnipiac, I went to DeVry, or I went to Michigan State. It's immaterial. The facts are the facts. It's just, this guy has presided over a rogue athletic department. And it's not just football, basketball, the hockey program, volleyball program. I do believe this would be the end for Ward. It has to be. I mean, you've arrived at a point. Think about it this way. If Michigan goes to have a 5 or 10 year anniversary of their fake national title, you'd have a hard time bringing people back to campus because they're all banned from college football, show cause, or in jail. I mean, you hit an end point where you go, this is theater of the absurd. So I would imagine Ward Manuel would be the next in line here.
Our producer, EJ Stewart, had a great point earlier in our show, though. He did hire a heck of a basketball coach, and that program looks amazing. Any chance?
They're cooking.
Yeah, is there any chance that people look at that and say, well, basketball is great, maybe Ward Manuel knows what he's doing?
Yeah, but it's not, Andrew, it's not even about whether you know what you're doing anymore. It's just how many scandals can you endure before we start to question the operation you're running? To Maggie's point, if this is such a poorly kept secret, and you guys know college campuses are highly insular, it's a very small world when you're in that, environment. Come on, you got a hard time telling me you didn't know. And to Maggie's point, this could have all been avoided if you have standards. But we all know what the truth is here, right? If they were 13-0, or if they had beaten OSU and headed to the playoff, none of this gets unearthed. None of it.
Yeah, Mike Valenti joining us. Yeah.
That's how they operate.
So I just want to reintroduce you. 97.1 The Ticket. Needs no introduction, really, though, Mike. The authority on all things Michigan sports out of Detroit. And when you said that they'd have a reunion and all the assistants have show cause penalties and Jim Harbaugh has a show cause penalty, you mentioned people in jail. You're not just talking about Sharon Moore currently. We're talking about also Matt Weiss, who was federally indicted on charges they was hacking into co-eds' phones looking for photographs. Okay,
Pick your scandal, Maggie. Pick. Spin a wheel.
Yeah.
I'll be Bob Barker. Let's do the showcase showdown.
I know that one's a lot more fun when a pair of jet skis or something. But Mike, last one for me on the Michigan thing, and then we want to get one or two more Detroit things from you. But you know, you mentioned you think that Michigan is going to ultimately could end up really kind of saving face here with a coaching hire. Now it is a terrible time to potentially be starting a coaching search. You got the transfer portal opens on January 2nd, but you mentioned Kalen DeBoer and Jed Fish. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer is going to be coaching a week from tomorrow in a college football playoff game. How realistic do you think that is? And ultimately, who do you think gets the job?
Yeah, I think I just think it's one of those two guys. I mean, here's the other thing, and you guys know this, you're pros. ADs have a list of coaches in their pocket at all times, right? It's just what it is. I just don't live in a world where back channeling hasn't been going on. I don't live in a world where they woke up yesterday, found out he couldn't keep his pants on, and just, oh my God, he's been arrested. I guess we have to fire him. I Boulder Dash. That's ridiculous. So to me, look, money rules the world. We saw this with Lane Kiffin. I mean, as they were in a playoff drive at Ole Miss, he was being recruited, courted, and money talks. Michigan has it. They have a wonderful donor base. I mean, it's just, these people will step in front of a train for that school. So it just, you pay the money. I mean, DeBoer, it's not a fit at Alabama. It's just not. Why? Because he's committed the ultimate sin. He's not Nick Saban. I think it's smart you stay one step ahead of the posse. He coached at Eastern Michigan. He coached at Indiana, understands the landscape, quarterback whisperer. Maybe you can fix Bryce Underwood, who was largely atrocious as a freshman. And Jed Fish, again, coached with Harbaugh, has been on campus, quarterback guy, knows what he's getting into. You could raid the Washington roster, and I think it'd be pretty seamless. So, look, when you're at the top of the food chain, financially especially, you can do certain things other schools can't do. Maggie, it's not a search in earnest. If you just pick up the phone and go, here's $90 million, I dare you to say no. So it becomes something different.
Mike Valenti joining us for another minute or two. And Mike, we appreciate your time because we know this is going to be a very busy day. I got two more Detroit questions for you while we have you on the phone. So we'll get back to the Michigan State scandal in just a moment. But the Lions, been alternating wins and losses for the last 8 weeks. And I'm curious where the fan base is on Dan Campbell right now. And what's his approval rating at this very moment?
Campbell's approval rating is still damn near perfect. The angst goes towards Brad Holmes, just based on there's been an arrogance from the organization about, almost mocking people, saying, guys, you got to get help for Aiden Hutchinson. Let's get another edge rusher. This falling in love with their own players routine. And look, it's borne itself out. I mean, I'll give you an example. I can't blame Dan Campbell when the team goes out and doubles and triples down on off-injured players who are, let me show you my surprise face, now injured. Like, you're relying on a Marcus Davenport who has never had a healthy season. He played one game for you last year. You re-upped him again. He died again for 10 weeks. You have Josh Paschal on the roster. You don't get involved in the trade market. You get cute in the draft and you trade 3 third-round picks for a wide receiver who doesn't really have a role on this team. The angst is for Brad Holmes. That's really where people are angry.
Okay, last one. You become a little bit of like a cult hero on this show, a cult figure on this show with your takedown of Gus Johnson. So let's
let's get into it.
Okay. So let's play for the audience. Again, they're very familiar because we love this cut. Go ahead. This is Mike Valenti, our guest, talking about the announcer Gus Johnson.
He faked it. He's fake. His whole existence is fake. He sits here acting like, oh, U of D. Man, ain't nobody seen you at U of D Jesuit. Shut up, you. Guy's nothing but a charlatan. What a fake-ass call. He ruins everything he touches.
Mike, charlatan.
Yes.
How did you come up with charlatan? We haven't heard that word in decades,
I know.
centuries.
I'm just a smart ass by trade. No, I just listen. He doesn't watch games. He doesn't do the work. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's turned into a little fake Johnny Carson routine, and he ruins every call. It's inauthentic. I mean, go look at the Big Ten title game from Saturday night. No one's ever called Carnell Tate Tater. How about the kid on Indiana, Charlie B from Tennessee? Stop it, dude. All right, this is not the VMAs. This is just stop it. It's just.
But it's personal, Mike. It seems personal. Like if he was not from Detroit, would you not have this kind of a vitriol towards Gus?
Well, I also take it personal when he's a known Michigan homer and you want to purport that you're calling a game in an honest manner. You're not. I just think it's propaganda. I think it's inappropriate. I yearn for the days of a Brent Musburger, a Keith Jackson, Brad Nessler, Vern Lundquist. You have a job to do. Do your job. We're not here for you. Call the damn game. Your color analyst can provide some of the fun stuff. And that U of D reference was simple. If you're going to shout out your high school like you're around there, you're not. I've talked to more classes down there than you have. So just cut it out. All right? Just stop.
Guy's nothing but a charlatan.
The charlatan got us. Oh, we love it.
But I mean, it's true. But also, too, Maggie, I am limited. I can't call them some of the names I really want to, or else I'll probably have a vacation.
Dang. All right, Mike, you're the best for doing this. We appreciate it. Yeah, go
Mike,
ahead.
why'd you have to take a shot at Isaac Teslav? What did he do to anybody? That dude is
Nothing.
awesome.
I want it to work.
He's awesome.
It just listen. You give up 3 third-round picks. I look like an idiot because I thought he was going to replace Tim Patrick's role. I thought he was going to catch 30 or 40 balls this year. Be that third down guy. Be a red zone target.
He's got 9 highlight catches. He's got the guy's diving all over the field making plays.
I know he's got 5 catches and 3 of them are touchdowns, but it's like they're all in garbage time. What am I supposed to do?
Well, you beat the Cowboys, so that's all that matters.
True.
Mike, thank you so much for the time today. Problem, I know it's going to be a must-listen show, as it is every day, but particularly with the latest fallout from Michigan. So thank you so much.
You got it, guys. Have a great day.
All right, Mike Valenti, you can, of course, listen to him. 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit, does afternoons there and does a great job.
I mean, that's passion.
There's
not for a second do you think that he is not really believing everything he said. That is just, he's all in. Does not seem to be a huge fan of the Michigan program there, Mag.
Well, I think he's right. When you're covering it every day, we're not talking about a volleyball scandal or something that's happening with the other Olympic sports. We're just really stick to football and basketball around here, and it does feel like a lot of negative headlines, and today is the worst of all of them.
Well, he put into words what I was thinking. This is a gift for the program, though, because I thought I was going crazy. I watch a lot of Michigan games, and they are not good.
Shut up, you.
Getting rid of Moore is great. And Underwood, okay, finally someone said it. Like, he's not good, right? Now I'm seeing my guy, like, he's not a great quarterback yet.
Well, he's a freshman. You got to look at the ceiling, Pearl.
Maybe. I don't know. I have the same question about Julian Lewis in Colorado. You saw a ceiling with Bryce Underwood last year? Because I did not see it.
Dylan Raiola. His whole existence is fake.
It's just, we'll get to more of the details now with Sharon Moore, because you can't say it's a gift because the program's going through it today.
Why?
Because the former coach is in jail right now. Like, that's a lot of cleanup.
That's terrible on a personal level, but for the program, I love what Mike said. They fail up.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So a lot more to get to with this Michigan scandal. Coming up, we do have more for you on Shedeur Sanders and what the future holds for the Browns quarterback, and Phillip Rivers putting on a stand-up comedy display yesterday with the Colts media. Do that next, M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Thank you to Mike Valenti from 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit for joining us about this Michigan scandal, Pearl, and we do have some more details about it. According to The Athletic, there was an investigation into Sharon Moore, who's now been fired as the head football coach of Michigan, into a relationship, an inappropriate relationship of someone in the athletic department and a staffer. And it initially did not produce evidence of the relationship, the first investigation. The evidence that was needed to fire Sharon Moore came to light in the last 24 hours. Now, that's according to The Athletic. So, still, like, things have devolved to the point where Sharon Moore is in a jail cell right now for an alleged, he's being detained, let's put it that way, in a suburb of Ann Arbor on possible charges of assault. Could any of that have been avoided if people took more action? We don't know. I'm not trying to dismiss anything or take anyone off the hook or whatever, but like, could there have been someone who could have put a stop to this?
Yeah, I mean, and also the question is how dark is this story going to get? There are more layers that we're not even aware of. It seems very possible.
Yeah, it's definitely an ongoing thing. So let's get to Andrew Bogish, who's got even more details.
Let's just go right to the NBA, non-Sharon Moore news for now. The other Cup quarterfinals happened last night. The Thunder roughed up the Suns 138-89, matching the 2015 Warriors for the best 25-game start ever at 24-1. Then the Spurs outscored the Lakers in L.A. 132-119, 30 points from Stephon Castle.
Win or go home. You know, you always want those big stakes games, so it just adds a little bit more competitiveness to the game. I mean, like I said, we want to win every game, but having a little something added onto it definitely feels good too.
And again, hashtag who needs Wemby. They're now 9-3 since he strained his left calf. The NBA Cup semifinals, as most of you have already planned for, Saturday night in Vegas.
So when they outscored the Lakers, they got the W?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I hear him say win or go home?
I mean, this was the NBA Cup.
Yeah. Right, you mean go back to your schedule.
What's your question?
Not to the
I'm
off-season.
confused by your confusion.
They don't go home because regardless, they have more games to play.
They go back to the hotel.
They go home in the tournament that's happening.
Yeah.
Nico.
It's not a literal statement, Nico. It's kids these days. Steph Curry's now expected back for the Warriors tomorrow night against the T-Wolves. He's missed 5 games with a bruised thigh. The Women's Jimmy V Classic had 10th-ranked Iowa State hosting number 11 Iowa last night. The Cyclones, a 74-69 win, improving to 11-0. Audi Crooks, 30 points and 10 boards. On the men's side, number 23 Nebraska thumping Wisconsin 90-60. The Cornhuskers now 10-0, matching the best start in program history.
So I saw that score on the ticker.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest, I don't know if anyone else, I'm like, is this men's college basketball? Like, has Nebraska ever beaten anyone 90-60 in basketball? What is happening
in
there?
a Big Ten game?
Listen, the Mayor's run the show now. So they up to big things with Fred Hoiberg.
Is this something we need to be aware of? That
No.
the Nebraska basketball is a
you're
thing?
good.
Oh, okay.
You're good. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still volleyball season.
Exactly.
Yeah. That I'm aware of.
Not taking this Fred Hoiberg slander. The Mayor's a legend over there.
Listen, I'm just trying to save us from more Perloff. Like, do you know who Rank Mast is? And like,
So wait, no, seriously. Like, do I need to jump on this Nebraska bandwagon? You're saying no?
I'm saying no.
No, I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying, Bogish. Carry on.
Joe Buck, last thing from me. Joe Buck is the Baseball Hall of Fame's Ford C. Frick Award winner. That's for broadcasting excellence. Buck is basically, as we know, football only these days, but has called more World Series and All-Star games than any other TV voice in history.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you, Bucks. I saw that, and I was like, I don't really think of Buck as a baseball guy anymore, even though he was baseball for most of my life. But I almost wish, there was definitely a difference between how Joe Buck calls games now and how he was calling some really important games in baseball history, including Yankees, Red Sox, in one of the great comebacks of all time, right? And Joe Buck used to be so understated because it seemed like he was almost afraid to to feel like he was trampling what was going on the field, that he almost was too passive. Like, big plays didn't get the calls. Now, he's evolved a lot since then, and he's done some of our greatest calls. But I almost...
Some people like the old style, though.
Really?
I do.
I think he's way better now.
I think he's way better now. He's funnier. He's just way more loose.
Yep.
But that's the thing, right? That there are some people who let the action speak and lay back. Maybe that's I don't know what his dad was like. I mean, I know his dad's famous calls. Maybe that's sort of something he was trying to channel his dad. I'm not sure.
I just think he was so young and had like the fraud anxiety and the imposter syndrome. He's talked about this before. I like him more because he used to get accused of basically like being almost asleep, like the anti-Gus Johnson. Like he was too understated for all these big moments.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I grew up in Philly with Harry Cowles, who came up earlier in the show, Richie Ashburn, and they used to make so much fun of Tim McCarver for talking too much that I grew up with you lay back and you let the action happen. But, by the way, Fred Hoiberg, he's the mayor in Nebraska? I thought he went to Iowa State.
Well, he's still the mayor. That's what they called him, the mayor.
What town?
I guess it was Iowa, not thinking about it. Still don't disrespect the mayor.
You're in a 5-minute break.
The karaoke, he'd be
The Yankees lost last night and man, he lost his cool. Punched a hole through his drywall, called Boone a fool. Volpe swung through a ball for man, he damn near cried. Now he's drinking Jack straight with vengeance inside. He's slurring Cashman's clueless, fire that clown, then flips both birds up while sitting down. Neighbors hear the roar, I've been loyal for years. And in between curses, but why he still ain't here. Struck out, Boone just grinned. Cashman's up there saying we'll try again. Then he's chugging pain with a chaser of beer, flipping thumbs out birds, Bellotti ain't here. The TV's cracked from the throne remote. He's yelling, I believe you cut my throat. The game ended hours ago, but he's still in the fight, hollering we suck into the night. He tried to call WF and got put on hold, tried again. Left a voicemail full of rage and cheer. Tell Buddha said hit him and Bellotti still ain't. Then he woke up to the sunlight burning through his blinds. Empty cans on the table, ghost of last night's wine. He muttered, Judge, where were you? With a tear and a sneer. Then checked the clock and cursed. Bellotti still ain't here, 'cause the Yankees lost to the Blue Jays, and man, he lost his mind. He's drinking through the pain he swore he'd leave behind. He's yelling at the TV, throwing hats at beer. And somewhere in the distance, Bellotti still ain't here. He's scrolling through his mentions, every take feels mean. Fire, Boone, trade Rizzo, it's a broken dream. He grabs another bottle, says I don't even care. Then laughs through the sadness, Bellotti still ain't there. 'Cause the Yankees lost to the Blue Jays, and man, he lost his soul. He's singing to his bar stool, playing rock and roll. A man without a pearl says I don't even care. Then laughs through the sadness, Bellotti still ain't there. 'Cause the Yankees lost to the Blue Jays, and man, he lost his mind. He's drinking through the pain he swore he'd leave behind. He's yelling at the TV, throwing hats and beer. And somewhere in the distance there, Bellotti still ain't here. He's scrolling through his mentions, every take feels mean. Fire, Boone, trade Rizzo, it's a broken dream. He grabs another bottle, says I don't even care. The man on the front stripes fade, but his anger stays bright. He's shouting, I believed in this team into the night. And when that final out hit the glove in despair, he whispered, Peter, if you care, you'd be there. Now the Yankees are done, and man, he's half gone. He's humming sad country to a WFN song. If heartbreak had a time card,
45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Big mess in Michigan today. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. It's the top story all over sports. That is the firing of head coach Sharon Moore. Credible evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staffer, which raises eyebrows. Yes, Pearl, and is, I guess, salacious, but kind of feels cliche at this point. But that's not where the story ends. Sharon Moore was also detained in a jail in suburban Ann Arbor yesterday, and presumably still through this morning. He was investigated into possible charges of alleged assault. So we're obviously keeping our eye on a story that has gotten extremely serious. Sharon Moore is out. Is another, coach in the Jim Harbaugh coaching tree at Michigan who is going to unceremoniously exit this program, even though they reached the highest of the highs in winning the national championship. But you cannot understate and this is obviously one of the most serious stories, the amount of kind of scandal that has embroiled this program. Everything from one coach being indicted on federal charges of hacking into phones. Obviously, the Connor Stallion situation, which was about stealing signs in game. Denard Robinson was a legend at Michigan. Also, now a show cause penalty. Harbaugh has a show cause penalty. Jesse Minter has a show cause penalty. It's just been, with a lot of success, also a lot of black marks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Whatever's happening now seems way more serious than Connor Stallion's. Which is at the end of the day kind of funny. The whole thing was remember the hat and the mustache.
Yeah, fake mustache. This is Chippewas sweatshirt.
And one of the reasons I say that, and it's sort of a question, is this all too serious for them to just immediately today on Thursday dive into the coaching search? Do they have to sort through all this before they really make a really program-altering decision and throwing millions and millions of dollars at a new person? I wonder if the timing of everything. Do they have to at least get a hold of this situation first before moving ahead?
It's a great question. Like how much, I don't say damage control because these are real people, real lives who are being affected, but how much first of all, how much does the university have to get their arms around this thing? And then secondly, the athletic director could be involved here as well. I don't know who knew what when, but we know that there were investigations at first that did not bear any fruit. And then second, they got a tip that had a new evidence in it that apparently they received 24 hours ago. So Ward Manuel, who might be a household name, I don't know. He's a pretty famous athletic director as far as that position is. Is this going to be a tipping point where he's out? Because then that certainly would delay a hiring of a head football coach. And again, not to sound callous, but I'm going to be honest, Pearl. I think that Michigan is trying to hire the biggest name they possibly can as soon as they can. And I think that we've seen, I don't say in this day and age, but as far as media cycles kind of go and weathering storms and scandals, I think that the strategy now is just distract. Just give people some other shiny object that they can look at, and maybe they'll forget about this whole thing. And obviously now that's sports, entertainment, politics. It's just this sort of flood the zone is kind of the sort of shorthand. Just keep it moving, and this too shall pass, and people will sort of forget about that part of the scandal with Sharon Moore and get focused on whoever they're going to hire. And so I think they're going to probably make a big announcement within the next, I would say, 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
I think it's going to be like that.
Okay. I mean, I just worry from a program standpoint, if you go for the biggest name available now, like, is this going to be a smart hire or is this going to be what you say, a PR move? And also, who's saying yes under those circumstances? I think Jed Fish would, the Washington coach. I don't think Kenny Dillingham would because he shot down Penn State and they had a month to figure all this out. Like, is he going to want to go into this scandal? I think you're not getting your best possible coach right now. So I would rather wait a year and then go, and then you have your choice of really, you have a choice to be smart about it. You have a choice to get all the names. They already missed the hiring cycle. Like, they're definitely getting the dregs.
Well, or, dregs. I mean, I don't know. Penn State was getting denied by everybody.
Yeah,
they end up with Matt Campbell. They may end up with the best
Took them
coach of the
6
cycle.
weeks to get that. I don't know. In 48 hours, are you going to get a Matt Campbell?
Okay, well, this is also what it comes down to. We're talking about the Michigan situation with Sharon Moore being fired. There's some, obviously, like every college football program, some very influential donors who are probably going to have something to say. Not just the Tom Bradys of the world who might want to weigh in or what have you, but, the Larry Ellison's wife and, Stephen Ross and these billionaire people who might have a say. How many cooks are in the kitchen?
But that takes time, too, to sort through that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to come out of the woodwork to have their idea of what should happen next, well, then you might have to slow things down. And obviously the future of their athletic director.
Right. When is Alabama? What's the Alabama game? Because also
Week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow. So that would put you into close to December 20th to hire Kalen DeBoer. Even that's going to be late. And if they could get Kalen DeBoer, yeah, sure, they saved the whole thing. But that's not 48 hours. They have to wait for that game. And it's still, no one's explained to me why Kalen DeBoer would have left Alabama for either Penn State or Michigan. Based on, I mean, there's no common sense there. There's something completely missing unless he knows Alabama's going to fire him. Why would he do that?
Well, we talked to Mike Valenti earlier, who's on 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit, and he had an interesting thought that, do you stay one step ahead of the posse, so to speak, right? Like it was always going to be an impossible, bar to climb or to hit when you're replacing Nick Saban. Like, you are ultimately keeping the seat warm probably for the next guy. And
but
to
he
be
made
fair,
the playoff.
I know, and he did, but a lot of people think they shouldn't have. And quite frankly, out of all the teams who made the playoff, they're probably playing the worst over the last month. So, and they've already lost to Oklahoma once, and they might lose to them again. I don't know, but it's possible you can say, like, listen, I'm going to get out of here while the getting's good and get back to a place where I have had success in recruiting and all of that, and a place that an area of the country I know well.
You mean Michigan?
Well, like that area.
Well, yeah, but I mean, unless he get ahead of the
Midwest,
get ahead of the posse, I understand. But he's got a pretty good team coming back to Alabama. Like, he'd be, from a football standpoint, to go into this quagmire in December would be insane. Because I don't think Michigan can be elite next year.
So that's the question, though. If you're taking this Michigan job at this particular moment, right, where they are in crisis, first of all, you might have some leverage, probably get a couple extra bucks. Or two, you're doing the long view. You're like, all right, it's going to be painful, but when I do pull this team out from this shadow, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to be a savior. I'm not following Jim Harbaugh necessarily. I'm following the next guy who left in disgrace. And I'm going to be, people are going to love me just for the fact that I saved them in a moment where they were at their weakest.
But all that's good, but you have a great chance to be an elite team next year in Alabama. You're talking about long-term possibilities compared to, man, like, you have a lot of big players, like players we know, like Ryan Williams is going to be back. Your backup quarterback was really good, Austin Mack. He'll be back, or Ty Simpson will be back, and your defense is stacked. Like, why are you going to go be 500 at Michigan when you could? I mean, Alabama is making the playoff next year because it's going to be 16 teams. It'd be crazy. It'd be career suicide to me.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like you're leaving Alabama to go to North, South, East, West State. I mean,
It's
you're going
Alabama.
to Michigan, for goodness sakes. They're two blue bloods. 888-710-4i. I think that's a beauty in the eye of the beholder thing.
No, Alabama is a way bigger brand than Michigan in football. And Michigan's probably fourth biggest, but Alabama they're the Cowboys of the sport.
Is that more regional, though?
And also, is that true without Saban?
I mean, in the North and the Midwest.
I think Alabama's, yeah. I think with Saban, Alabama was clearly the number one team by as far as brand.
Well, with Saban, yeah, but now you got LSU with Lane. I mean, they're going to take up a ton of oxygen. He's going to get a lot of attention.
Alabama's so iconic for a bunch of reasons. It's not just Nick Saban. I mean,
yeah, but Michigan is like the all-time winningest team ever.
Well, I personally think Alabama is a much bigger deal than Michigan. Michigan hadn't won a title since, 97?
I still think a lot of this sport is regional. Like
Alabama though?
I mean, Alabama is a massive brand. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I just think that Alabama does not mean as much in Big Ten country. And Big Ten country has now become larger and larger with every reallocation of teams with all this realignment. So
yeah, Big Ten country,
yeah.
LA.
I know, right? But like if you go, I think when you go to the South, yes, Alabama is Alabama. I think when you get to Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa, Indiana, those places, I think Michigan is way more important than Alabama is.
Why don't we put the poll question up? Bigger brand. Michigan, Wolverines, Alabama, Crimson Tide,
Yeah.
888-710-4ISN. I'd be curious to see the results on that two heavyweights. So, okay, next head coach for Michigan, Pearl, you think it should be Jed Fish?
No, I said Lloyd Carr.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm serious.
80-year-old Lloyd Carr.
You described it even better, Frank. Like, do an interim coach for a year just to settle everything down. I don't know who that interim is. Then hire your real coach next year.
Okay. I think they should try to pry Clark Lee from Vanderbilt. It's a guy who is coaching at, an academic institution, has had, fun seasons here with Diego Pavia and Vandy. I don't know. I think that would
that seems like if you're looking at who's a sleeping giant, it seems like Vandy could be the next Indiana or the next Texas Tech.
Right. So they have the number one quarterback in the class who flipped from Georgia to go to Vandy, but he's from Nashville. So can you maybe convince that guy to come to Michigan? I don't think that's that hard of a sell, quite frankly.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Unless he only wants to play in his hometown.
I think Vandy's become a very attractive program.
But you're not getting out of the SEC. Like they did not make the college football playoff this year.
Yeah, but they would have if it's 16-team field. I mean.
Do you think James Franklin regrets leaving Vandy for Penn State?
No, of course not.
Right.
Vandy, but it's a new Vandy. Do you think Vandy was going to be a top 10 team? They were never. I don't think they were top 10 under Frank. Maybe they snuck in. They're much better now. They're a much, much better program and elite. And you got to look at Indiana's number 2 in the country. Why not Vandy? Why all these nerdy brainiac schools are rising?
The nerds are back, everybody. 888-710-4ISN. So you can weigh in on that and who should be the next head coach at Michigan. And meanwhile, we'll keep you updated with any of the details about this really, really sad and tragic seeming Sharon Moore situation. We'll get more into that. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, it was all laughs and all smiles in Indianapolis yesterday, Pearl. Phillip Rivers meeting the media, and he had everybody in stitches. So Rivers, did he confirm that he's playing, that he's starting on Sunday? I don't know if I got that from the press
they're going to
conference.
decide on Sunday.
Yeah,
Well, he's going to say on Sunday, I think.
Right.
Saturday or Sunday.
Gamesmanship. I love it.
I think they want to understand, can this guy get through a practice without expiring?
All right. Well, everyone in the building seemed extremely happy to see Phillip Rivers, and someone asked, just how much do you weigh?
What do you weigh right now?
Right this second? I'm not sure, Greg. How about that? That's an honest answer. And I will answer your question a little better on the playing weight, Greg. And not what it was when I walked off the field in Buffalo. All right, I can tell you that. But then I'll follow that up with I ain't never ran away from anybody anyway. Right? So I'm gonna. They people say, well, they're gonna know you're gonna be right there, and it's like, well, they knew that for 16, 17 years. So.
All right, I laughed, but listen, it was like that press conference came with a 2-drink minimum. He really had everyone like dying laughing. So, I mean, that's loud.
Yeah.
I've never been in a press conference where people were laughing that much. And like I sat in on several Rex Ryan appearances, including one where he was wearing a wig.
Yeah. Do you think it's
funny.
fake?
I think
that's a rumor.
It's a laugh track.
That was a laugh track. That's what everyone on the internet was saying. I have no idea if that's.
I feel like the laugh track doesn't have that one big hearty har that one does.
Yeah, there are a few folks in there that are really going hard.
Like, how bad has it been at the Colts facility? I mean,
Have
Daniel
you watched
Jones
what's
is
been
very
happening to
boring.
the Colts last few weeks?
No, I get it. They're looking for anything, and Daniel Jones is very boring at the podium. But
Can I also say one thing about that is a very relevant question. What is his weight? Because you're worried about him getting killed. He did not look small in what I got to be honest. He is going to get hit by a defensive end in the NFL and is going to be one man weighing less than the person he's hitting. Philip Rivers is going to be a big tree to take down. Like, I think he's got a sturdy base, man. I am not as worried. After seeing him walk up the podium, I'm like, oh, he's not scared of anything. What, you're basically hitting a redwood tree right now.
yeah, but is that granite under there or what? He took to the podium. I was like, oh, he looks like an assistant coach.
Usually when you tackle those big old quarterbacks it's not knock on wood, it's not a huge injury risk, but you're just going to run into him and sort of slowly take him down, kind of yell timber as he's going down.
I love you think that,
it's like watch Flacco get sacked. It's the same kind of thing. Like nobody's blowing up Joe Flacco because it's like blowing up a wall.
No, I love you think that DeMarcus Lawrence is going to gently rest him down like he's putting him into a bath. No, they're going to knock the crap out of him.
Yeah, but I think you're going to hit. Like I think he weighs as much as DeMarcus Lawrence right now.
Yeah, but it's different kind of pounds.
Yeah, but when you hit a small guy, the guy goes flying. When you hit a big guy, it's just totally different. I think that his weight is going to be his superpower in this game.
All right, let's hear more from Rivers. Says he came back because he loves Shane Steichen and he loves the Colts organization.
As simple as can be is a coach that I love and an organization that I really enjoyed being with. Mr. Irsay believing in me in that year in 2020 when it didn't go so good in 2019. And shoot, the teammates that I were able to play with, 14 of them are still here. Training room's the same. PR guys are the same. Equipment room's the same. And they wanted me.
Yeah, there was no one else. More from Rivers, Pearl. He says that he's been staying connected to the NFL, even though he's been retired, but that he didn't actually consider coming back until about 48 hours ago.
I've not given any thought of actually, playing again, and until about 48 hours ago, to be honest with you. So, but it seemed like this wasn't just any place or any coach. Or it wasn't, it's not like, oh, shoot, I hope see what happens in the league and I'll see if I can get ready. It wasn't that.
I hope we're all laughing after Sunday, like, phew, like a sigh of relief. And, listen, Philip Rivers doesn't need me to defend him. He knows the kind of risks he's taking getting out there.
I still don't understand this whole narrative. So is it the same risk of any other 40-year-old quarterback? Or are you saying because he's just coming back out of nowhere, he's not used to getting hit? Like
Yeah, it's not just his age. It's the fact that he hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL in 5 years. It's a long time to be out.
So even that makes you more vulnerable to injury?
I think so. I mean, I think that
like a hamstring pull.
Well, you haven't been training. And I do think that you have to you learn how to take hits just like boxers learn how to take punches, And I do think that's something that has to stay in shape.
I mean, if he's coming away from an injury as a fellow old guy, it's going to be his lower back. It's when you get out of the chair, it's like, ugh. That's going to be Philip Rivers after this game. It's going to
be way worse than that, dude.
I seriously think he's way more vulnerable to soft tissue injury than anything you're talking about.
Man, what is it about getting old? I'm telling you, I don't even
get inflexible. That's his problem. He's going to pull. If he tries to scramble 3 feet, he's going to pull a hamstring. That is the number one issue here.
You don't got that pliability.
Yeah,
he doesn't look pliable.
But here's the thing, though. It's not even like scrambling or something that you can account for. How about something happens where he fumbles a snap and something happens and he tries to fall on it and then it's a pile?
You think he got arthritis? He can't hold the ball?
No, I'm saying he can fumble a snap. He's with the under center with a new guy.
His much bigger concern is, hey, Philip, run 13 yards over there to get your helmet. That's where the hamstring pull goes. Like, he's going to pull a hammy.
I know.
He's not going to get his head blocked. Maybe he will, but he's a pocket quarterback. It's a little different. And he's as pocket as they come.
Yeah. Well, that was his funny joke. He's like, I wasn't moving 13 years ago, let alone today.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this myself. Like the other day I was brushing my teeth and just like all of a sudden I felt something in my back. And I'm not old.
That's called anxiety.
Okay, thanks.
Back pain, 95% mental.
Well, now I'm nervous about that.
Yeah, Dr. Sardo, that is. You never read about back pain's holistic connection? That's pretty common, right?
But why when I'm brushing my teeth? I'm pretty relaxed then. I like brushing my teeth.
No. What happens is when you're anxious, your whole body gets tight, and an injury is just waiting to happen.
I can't imagine anything.
Back pain is mental. I will send you guys some literature. I'm a big believer in mind-body connection, especially with back pain. But that being said, I can't believe you're worried about Phillip Rivers getting hit. I'm worried about him even running out with the team. He's going to be limping. I mean, has he trained? He did not look like he'd been training, Maggie.
This is what I said yesterday, that he needs to get the cardio up. I go, what? He's going to start doing like squats and sit-ups now, and he's going to be ready by Sunday?
I mean, he better get to the facility at 7 a.m. and start stretching for this bad boy. Get on the bike for a half hour and just stretch those hammies.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, we've got a big question for you from one NFL team and more on the Michigan scandal as it is developing. It is the Maggie and Perloff Show.
All right, Maggie, I can't wait till Sunday. I'm going more than on Phillip Rivers if he's available on Prize Picks, and that's how Prize Picks work. You basically pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and watch your lineups light up like the holidays. And right now, you can keep the holiday season rolling on Prize Picks by getting a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. We'll see about Rivers on Sunday. May or may not play, but if he does, I'm going to be rooting for the old guy, and I'm going to be picking him in Prize Picks.
Bro, you don't have to wait until Sunday to bet NFL. How about Thursday Night Football, barn burner, Atlanta Falcons,
It's the only way to
Bucks.
get into this game.
Let's get into this game. Baker Mayfield, more than 18.5 rushing yards. You can book that. And instead of pairing it with another NFL thing, I'm going to go with Kevin Durant. 34.5 points, rebounds, assists. I guess the theme of the day is older guys. So how about Durant? They're playing the Clippers. Former teammate James Harden. Former frenemy James Harden. Current frenemy. And the Clippers stink right now. So I think the Rockets are going to feast. And this is just part of the fun and the different combinations you can do on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MNP. Give $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks to get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Already got an issue. Maggie in the break was telling me about a new sort of workout routine she's been doing. It's really cold here in the Northeast, so we have to figure out innovative ways to work out. And I understand you got help from this app. If it's okay.
Yeah, it's like a fitness app.
Yeah, you pay a little bit for it.
Yeah, I pay for it. I'm not going to give them a free plug, but if they want to support the show, then they're happy to. But I was telling you how great it is and how I share it with my husband.
Yes. And I'm into it. My first question was, can men use this? And I didn't mean it because I assume there are different workout programs for men and women. We have different bodies, and I don't want to be soft and get a workout app. I mean, come on. If the guy's at the gym, I want to throw some iron around with Nico. I don't want to. But anyway,
be very careful.
But I thought, okay. So I said, I'll get this app for my wife for Christmas because I'm trying to cut down on subscriptions. I don't really want to subscribe to something new. And then it dawned on me, what is the message I'm sending?
And I said, tread lightly. I don't know if you want to buy anything workout related for your wife unless they specifically tell you, I'd like this. Like, you buy someone a gym membership, you might as well go sleep in the guest room. Like, you're going to be in a body bag.
Yeah, this is like a gym membership.
It is, but so you can't do it. You should tell her to get it for you.
But I do have a tool that I use at home in these kind of conversations.
What do you say?
And it's not just this, it's a wide-ranging thing. If I say, this is Maggie Gray approved, my wife said immediately, like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Because it's a Maggie and Perloff show. My wife has made a very clear and succinct choice that she's on Team Maggie on all things. She doesn't trust my opinion on anything. But if I say, Maggie liked this this dish at this restaurant, oh, let's go. Because Maggie.
It's taken years to get that kind
Sarah
of power.
Just looks at Maggie as having a strong common sense. I'm like, well, yeah, actually, you kind of do.
You got to get to know me a little better.
So I think that will be my item. Like, Maggie suggested this, but I don't even know if that'll work. I am treading lightly.
I'd just be careful. I mean, your wife's coming off of like hip surgery.
Yeah, she has to be very careful. She's a big runner, so that's the thing. She's looking for new ways to work out.
Wait, I'm just going to ask you because I feel like we run into this often around Mother's Day and other things. Have you given any thought to her holiday gift? Or do you guys not give each other gifts? Because it's always like December 24th, and you're like, what should I get my wife?
Yeah, no. I have given thought to the fact that I haven't given thought yet. There's no thoughts of actual presents that have entered my mind.
Got it.
But also,
anyone else? Have you bought anything yet for your significant others? Just questions.
Well, today is my lovely fiance Andrea's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Andrea!
She's one of those I gotta get Christmas and birthday. So birthday.
Are you gonna get her the Aptiv app?
She's a yoga instructor. She could teach the app.
Yeah, seriously, right? Yeah, no, that's not happening. But no, birthday gift has happened. Christmas gift is still being thought about.
Workshopped.
Yeah,
it's early. It's December 11th. Oh, that's okay. It's December 11th. You still got time, but like not that much.
Yeah.
If you're ordering stuff.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay though.
This is where it always comes back to the one big debate we have on the show, which is, are gift cards like appropriate for wife, girlfriend? And this is where I steer you guys wrong, because I love gift cards.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, get her the gift card. And then all of a sudden you guys come back like with sad faces.
You're in the minority on this.
Yeah.
But I do.
I wish you weren't, because I love a gift card.
I understand what you're saying, but I do get bothered by the fact that these companies are making millions off of unused, unredeemed gift cards. I mean, corporations are making money that would knock your socks off by people not redeeming them.
I know. That's why you can only give gift cards to people you know will use them. Like, I always use them.
But sometimes we'll do a cleanup, and then we'll see a gift card. They're like, wait, this Target gift card was here? We had no idea.
And then go use it. They don't
I know.
expire.
I don't think you gave us a gift card once, and there was a lot of confusion. I don't even know if we used it.
All right.
What was the confusion? But we wanted to.
Your
We've been to that
favorite
restaurant. I talk about that. Me and my wife, we loved it. We were so happy. We're like, let's have a specific plan to use because it's our favorite restaurant. And then we got there, we went there, and we were like, it's in the drawer at home. And then there was some confusion about how long it lasted.
Oh, that should be forever. The restaurant you're talking
Gift
about
cards
has
are
been
not
around
forever. That's something you have to watch.
But the restaurant that you guys were going to has been around literally for like 100 years.
That doesn't mean the gift cards have limits.
Yeah, what does the sign say? Over 3 billion served at McDonald's? Is that-
It was a Mickey gift card.
Yeah, I'm not saying the restaurant's going away. I'm saying the gift card's going away. Gift cards are tricky. I even think the government's looked at that gift card thing and said, wait, what's going on here? It seems like a massive
Yeah, I'm sure they're
scam.
right on top of it.
Gift cards is a thing. I've heard politicians talk about it. It's not ideal.
So what do you guys get? What are you getting for your wives? Any ideas? You want to spitball a little bit? Help out the audience if anyone's looking for anything?
I don't even shop for my own girlfriend. My mom will just send me stuff that she thinks she likes. Cool, yeah, order it.
No way.
I can't believe you said that.
That is one thing that's happening. My
Okay.
wife will send me links and be like, buy
Yeah.
this.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah. Oh, your wife doesn't do that?
No, and I could right now rattle off 17 things that I want. And she
You have an inventory in your head.
I'm like a hot girl on Amazon. I got one of those wish list things. Like I'm looking for an old man to buy.
A harder problem as an adult male. What do you want? Like I never know what to ask for.
Oh, it's all lame stuff. Like there's probably 3 like nonfiction books on there. We need a new PlayStation controller, which is more of like a actual purchase.
See, I feel bad because I think Andrea, she really thinks a lot about giving a good gift. So, and she always gives me great gifts, but there's always things I would want that I could just say, get this. It's something she would never get from me though.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of takes the fun
From
out
her
of it
angle.
from her, but to be like, hey, get me this thing.
Yeah, my in-laws, they do this. Everyone sends links. So then we get there on Christmas morning and everyone opens up like, hey, thanks. It's the book I specifically asked for with the link I sent
It's a modern dilemma because with
They
the
love
ability to send links. And so my wife did a trick the other day that didn't go over well in the household. My daughter has access to our Amazon account and she ordered a belt that she needed for a particular pair of pants.
Okay.
My wife saw it come in and decided it'd be fun to wrap it up and put it under the tree. So Lucy runs down and is like, where's that belt that I just ordered? and my wife was like, I wrapped it up and put it under the tree. And they had to do about it. Actually, we all laughed about it. So anything
Did she
that came,
unwrap it and wear it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Anything that comes in, because my kids are on these cheap apps that are very controversial where they get basically free clothes are shipped to them. And then...
Yeah, sweatshop labor.
Yeah, I know. I mean...
Well,
wow.
listen, your Nikes are the same. Like, we can really get into it if you want to.
But there are these really cheap clothing websites, and my kids order a lot of cheap stuff. And so there's always Amazon packages flowing in and out of garbage. And my wife just decided it's all going under the tree.
Man, did I tell you guys what happened with me with the Amazon packages the other day? It actually wasn't Amazon. That my neighbor 5 doors down the street got a package of mine and I got theirs.
No.
Not even the next door neighbor. I'm telling you, like a quarter mile down the street. I get a phone call on Friday night. I was about to do TV locally, and I get a call, and I usually wouldn't pick it up. But I'm like, when you get that sense, you're like, I should probably pick this up. Pick it up. Maggie, it's Chuck from down the street.
Sup, girl?
You've got a package of mine, and I've got your. Sorry, I should have mentioned it was 4:30 in the afternoon. It was no you up unless he was taking a nap.
That's the suburban version of you up.
I don't think his wife Dawn would appreciate your jokes.
Chuck and Dawn.
Chuck and
What
Dawn.
are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Chuck and Dawn. Chuck's definitely at the Traeger, at the grill, the wood pedal grill.
Tell
These
me more
people,
about Nemo's trade. Go.
Honestly, nicest people ever. My neighbors now, who I'd never met before, but so everything all ended well. Yeah. We exchanged the packages. It's like really odd though. 5 doors down on the opposite side. No, I don't. See, that's the other thing. I still don't know how Chuck got my phone number.
Ooh. Wait. But you met them?
No.
Oh, this is the first time you met them?
We maybe waved.
So he said, this is Chuck. How'd you know who Chuck was?
He goes, it's Chuck from
Oh.
And said the address. And for a second I was like, huh? The reason why I've actually said hello to them once or twice is because they are really cool. They're the people who decorate for every holiday. Like they don't sit one out. Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, let alone Halloween, Christmas, all the usual ones. And so my kid loves their setup.
Yeah.
You know, for a 6-year-old, he's like, this is like Willy Wonka over there. So we've walked by their place and chit-chatted with them for a second. But not like this. Maggie, it's Chuck from blah, 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 the address. And my first thought was, how did you get my phone number? Whatever,
well,
though.
How did you get it?
I didn't ask. I thought it was rude because now we're exchanging
Oh,
gifts.
is it on the package?
Kid.
It might have been on the box.
I checked.
Oh.
No?
No. Interesting.
Oh, weird.
They're thinking, can you look it up?
Or maybe
now I'm basically inviting people.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your next door neighbor though has it. They may say, "Hey, do you have their number?"
No.
None of your neighbors have your number.
Do you know your neighbors? Do they know your number?
No.
Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. Some people have neighbors that are their family. There's some people like that.
Yeah,
I do. You do. Your neighbors, it's tight.
But it's not. Everyone's very friendly, and now I know them, and now I have both their numbers, and now we become friends. And me and Chuck and Dawn and our friends. Yeah.
Nobody's really named Chuck anymore. Everyone noticed that? Why is he going with Chuck?
But Chuck sounds like a guy who could find Maggie's phone number.
Yeah.
No, Chuck's resourceful.
Chuck is definitely a package goes the wrong place. Chuck is on it.
No, he got it.
Meanwhile,
and it took less than 24 hours to clear up. And they're really good people, too. They work for nonprofits and with people who have substance abuse problems. They're good people.
Meanwhile, you got the UPS, the Jim Marshall UPS people apparently going to the wrong houses.
But why? But here's the question I think you're getting at. The fact that it makes sense that you would get somebody else's package, but that they got yours.
Yes.
So the delivery man did the switcheroo.
We
why?
think maybe it was on purpose. Is
what was going through the delivery
He's a
man's
matchmaker. Are the numbers
It's a
in any
meet
way
cute between me, Doug, and Dawn?
Common, 516 and 561, where you might have reversed a couple of digits?
Opposite side of the street. So not
so
even the same.
Odd and even.
And even if they were, why would you confuse both of them? It's very odd.
Also, it was funny because I noticed the package in question that landed at our house was not in the normal place. Usually they come to the drop it off at the porch or maybe by the garage. This one was just in the middle of the lawn.
Can I throw out a theory?
It was weird.
I hope Chuck and Dawn are not listening. Maybe Chuck wanted to get to know a young Maggie Gray and did the old switcheroo on himself as an excuse to call you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put the odds of that as right around the Tennessee Titans playoff odds right now. Less than 0.
That's the best explanation I've heard. There's no other reason that they would do the switcheroo.
They didn't do it. The delivery.
Why would that delivery guy do that? What's his
Okay, but here's the thing.
reason?
So now we have been talking. Wouldn't they?
Oh, so Chuck wins.
No, but wouldn't he be like, so about the Mets? At some point, everyone
actually,
betrays
the most
it.
likely scenario is that this turns into a horror film, right?
Right.
Yeah. First, the first thing is you get switched up packages. The next thing, you're locked in the basement of Chuck's house.
And Chuck's learning how to deal with your huge feet that you just took off the bottom of your legs. How am I going to cut these out?
Is that a Rex Ryan situation? We haven't even considered that.
How am I getting these out of the house?
Yeah. He's was it size 14 shoes that came in that box?
I need a contractor bag, not an actual garbage bag.
I love that in this scenario, I'm being chopped up.
I didn't go that far. No, I was good with where we were going.
No, just locked in the basement.
Way too far.
He's going to let her out eventually?
And somehow my feet are so big, it's just too much DNA. Anyway, I was friends with these people. Forget it now. If they're listening, there's no way they're ever going to invite us back in their home, and they were so nice too.
Wait, you were invited into the home?
Yeah.
See, this is all going way
I
south.
brought Lucas with me, so it's like a 6-year-old. He was interested in their dogs.
You had a human shield when you walked in.
They got chickens back there. They're laying their own chickens at their
like my
house.
sister.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm going to save it for after the break. I have an update on and you got to stick around for this, Bogues. It will shock you on what happened to the chickens.
Yeah, why you need to stick around for this is because Perloff admits that his sister has chickens and is a chicken murderer.
Yeah.
Breaks their necks.
When chicken is sick or I guess too old or something, she has to get rid of them because they will infect the other chickens, so she breaks their necks. It's the most humane way to kill a chicken. Or she chops their head off.
Not the most humane way.
Yeah, it's the most humane way. They don't feel
Chopping
anything.
the head off?
Yeah, it's 1 and 2.
They don't feel anything. What's a better way? You're going to give them a shot of some sort of slow acting? Give me a better way. What, are you going to drown them in water? The incident's way better.
We don't do beheadings in the U.S. I would think there's some other way maybe. I don't know.
But my sister loves chickens. Like she's trying to help them.
You know, Chuck.
Yeah,
likes
wait, by the
ladies,
way,
I'm telling you, if you guys ruin my friendship with them, I'm never going to forgive you. But it's
Yeah.
my fault I brought it up. Darn it. All right. We get Perloff's sister's story of killing
and
chickens
it's way
next.
more horrific than you think.
That's a tease.
That's great.
Stay tuned.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
One more time.
All right, welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. I tease a gruesome story about chickens. My sister lives in suburban Boston and has a chicken coop in the back, much like Maggie's neighbor, who we learned all about in the last segment, named Chuck. He has chickens, they lay eggs.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a great backyard pet if you have the space. My sister's been doing this for years, and once in a while, there is a problem with predators.
Ah.
So my sister is leaving to catch a flight at 4:30 in the morning, and she sees something on the ground. It's a dead baby chicken. Then she doesn't have any time because there's an Uber there to take her to the airport. She just real quick runs back and sees, oh, there's a bunch of dead chickens. Turns out that, here's the thing, I'm not sure I have the right animal. It was either a fox or something even more terrifying.
A cougar?
It might have been.
In suburban Boston, the only cougars
A
are
mountain lion?
divorcees.
What is the animal? And I have the. Oh, okay. I know it's not a jackal or a hyena.
No
It might be a
hyenas
coyote.
in
Coyote,
Boston.
a
In
coyote.
Boston? Coyotes? I think
There are coyotes all around here, like in New Jersey and
Yes,
stuff.
I think coyotes
Oh,
are in the
okay.
Northeast now.
All right.
Anyways, either a fox or a coyote got into the pen. And here's the terrifying part. She had to leave for a flight. And she sees that 5 chickens are alive and 5 are dead. And she has to go out of town and there's going to be no one home. So she doesn't know what to do. They had ripped open the top of the chicken thing. So there was a hole in the fence. She's like, do I leave the chickens? She had to go to her flight.
Wow.
It was for work. Then the next night, the fox came back and killed the other 5 chickens.
I was going to say, so she left the chickens to die.
Yeah, she left the chicken, but she didn't know for sure that the fox was going to come back, and it came back.
So the fox is killing them and not eating them?
You can only eat 5 at a time or something. But no, they don't eat the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And they
God,
killed
that
all
is
the-
gruesome.
Yeah, but I guess if you have chickens, and Chuck must know this, predators are a major issue, even in the suburbs.
I'm sure.
Dogs, probably, a lot of things can get at chickens.
Well, that.
Well, I don't know why dogs
Hold on, though. But isn't it incumbent on your sister and any chicken owner to put some protection up from these
I mean,
predators?
she's had chickens for 15 years, and she's protected most of them, except from herself.
Except for the 10 that bit it in a 24-hour point.
I think it was a coyote because I'm seeing they're all over New England now. Anyway, so yeah, protect your chickens, people. It's that time of year. And I do think,
This
listen,
ad is sponsored by.
people on farms probably laugh at it. And we're like, oh, I'm afraid to. EJ grew up in Queens, New York. He's like, I wouldn't. You have no right to comment on how to kill a chicken. There are people out there in farms who do this stuff without even thinking twice about it.
And we appreciate them.
Yeah, you grew up in Binghamton. You never killed an animal?
No, but a lot of people I know did.
Yeah,
Mostly deer. Couple bears. Yeah, a couple bears.
Did they ever have to kill anything in the backyard?
No, not like that. Like they were hunting them. Yeah, I live in hunting. I grew up in hunting country. Okay, Jay's in Nashville. Wants to get back to the top story. Sorry, Bogues. Give me a sec. Jay, top story. The craziness at Michigan right now. Sharon Moore has been fired. He's also detained at the moment for an investigation into possible charges of alleged assault. Jay, what do you got?
I don't know. I heard it last night at work. I didn't think nothing of it. I woke up this morning and I cannot scroll through TikTok without this popping up. It's like the internet shows violence this morning, and I don't know. I think everybody's like, how do you get caught doing this? Like, dude, but there's just certain people. Matter of fact, it's a lot of people. You just can't give them not the least bit of power. And as men, we're Neanderthals. A lot of us have that can't get right gene. You know what I mean? You just can't get right. Can't get it right. And it's not going to stop happening. It's always going to happen. Somebody's always going to be dumb enough to get caught doing it. I mean, it's just reality, because everybody's like, oh, the humanity is like, dude, we're men. A lot of us are Neanderthals. And we just, I don't know, we give us a little bit of power. Yeah. And we turn into just, Idiotsville. And, hey, I sat on hold thinking Perloff was going to tell a story about his sister choking chickens or whatever, man. But that's what happened. Coyotes are everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
Jay, thank you for that. We're up against it.
They're a big problem in New England now. They're multiplying. One solution, and this is better, is to introduce large predators into the area, like bears, pumas, or wolves in suburban Boston.
That seems like two wrongs that don't make a right. Let's get to Bogues' headlines.
This is an article on CBSNews.com/Boston. They seem to be seriously suggesting it.
Like, just make it the Serengeti. That's our solution to this whole thing. We'll do the circle of life. All right, Bogues, what do you got?
Hey, park the car. We're going to let the puma out here.
I can't.
No, please give us something.
No, I mean, I have a completely nonsensical update as well. So we might as well stay there. We all just talked about chickens. Chickens to chicken wings to NBA Today on ESPN yesterday. Here's Kendrick Perkins and Malika Andrews.
And I'm not a big sauce guy, so when I go and order chicken tenders, I ain't getting ranch and all. I don't know nothing about
You want the dry rub? All right, we're going to move on now. We're talking about chicken.
Sorry, I should have said, Nico, cover your ears.
Oh, my God. What is going on in this segment?
Along similar lines, we're getting Kirk Cousins in prime time tonight since
Michael Pennis
is out for the season with that knee injury. Bucks-Falcons could have been an NFC South showdown this late in the season, but Atlanta didn't hold up its end of the bargain. Here's head coach Raheem Morris.
The job is to go out and play spoiler right now. You got a Tampa Bay Buccaneer team on Thursday that we got a lot of respect for, that we love to play. That's always a highly competitive football game, and I expect no different. I love the fact that our guys get to get back on the grass and go out there and take another shot at it.
Those Buccaneers need to get right. Losers of 4 of their last 5, falling into a tie with Carolina atop the NFC South. Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan are back from their injuries for this game. Jaden Daniels is out again for the Commanders. Sunday, in his return from that dislocated elbow, he was knocked down hard on that left arm. No new issue, but there's no reason to push him, especially when losing to the Giants Sunday would help their draft position.
The Commanders.
Back in the NBA, the Thunder matching the best 25-game start ever with a 138-89 rout of the Suns in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. They are now 24-1, just like the 2015 Warriors. The Spurs are their next victim, 132-119 winners at the Lakers last night. So that semifinal Saturday night in Vegas alongside Knicks Magic. Guys, back to you.
I don't get people who don't like sauces. I know there are some. My kid's not really into sauces. Ian Eagle famously never uses any condiments or anything. But are you you're a sauce guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know Ian Eagle didn't use condiments, famously.
Famously.
Not sure it's that famous, but by the way, you had the chicken thing ready to go right after the chicken story? That's amazing.
The chicken thing for actually last hour didn't have time for it then, and then we got distracted by Chuck and his weird flirtation with Maggie.
And you
just a solid neighbor.
It felt like it was all the topics actually made sense together in some way.
Bogues is a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you saw that coming like last night. I said, what are we going to be talking about in hour 4? Well, Chuck, my sister.
Yeah, or maybe
Coyote.
I moved the packages to create the Chuck-Maggie dynamic that we then had Jokes
Just for a good, you would do all that for a good update.
I got a lot of free time. Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually become
That's the best
closer with
explanation
Dawn.
we have. There is still no explanation. You got to find this delivery guy. Is that possible?
I mean, is that what I want to do with my time?
Do you have a doorbell camera? Can you go back and look and see?
Yeah,
Actually,
we got everything.
You definitely don't have time, but I think Chuck does.
He's busy doing good. I'm the one who's just sitting around yakety-yakking with you guys about chickens.
Feels like Chuck is a guy who wants to be involved in his neighbors' lives. So get on this, Chuck. Figure out what that delivery guy was doing. Or Dawn. What's Dawn? I mean, what do we know about Dawn? Nothing.
She's helping people.
She's a mystery. She's an enigma.
Is there even a Dawn? Have you seen Dawn?
She showed me around her house. How do you think I found out about the chickens?
Oh, somebody showed you around the house.
Gave,
was it Dawn?
I hope so. She gave cookies to Lucas. All right. Thanks, EJ Stewart, Nico Scarlatos, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan.